There's good. There's good. No idea. Let me just have some tea, and let's see if I can gain some Mila back despite being sick and sleep deprived. This is a bad idea, but this is the stream of bad ideas. You've heard of stream of consciousness? Now get ready for stream of bad ideas. Wow, you still got first. No. Watch this, watch this. Be back after I consume my pasta? Ooh, what kind of pasta? Well, tell me what kind of pasta when you get back. Ah, normal chess. I would say I missed you, but I don't actually know if I have. I actually enjoyed the chess 960 more than I thought I would. I was a little worried, low-key. Hello, egg. Recently, I almost died today. Oh yeah? How so? I'm just going to play extremely calmly and reasonably, and I want to see what he does. British weather? Ah. Well, you know. Skill issue for living in the UK, I suppose. I don't mind this move. Oh, I mouse slipped I meant to take. Whoops. Well, I guess we're playing this now. That feels sus. Although I suppose the argument is that I'm far enough behind in development that it doesn't matter. Which, to be fair, he might be right. To be fair, he's probably right. Hailstones while walking to school for 30 minutes. My hands were literally falling off. Were they literally falling off, or were they figuratively falling off? Because somehow I find it slightly unlikely that you're typing in my chat if your hands were literally falling off. Could be wrong though. Whoa, that was weird lag. Don't have hands anymore, I'm using my middle toes. Ah, okay. In that case, carry on. There you go, third clap because I forgot the first one. I should not be playing chess like this. More likely than not, this is just bad. My chess is going well though. Hey, that's good to hear. My chess, oh, I'm just sick. That's the problem. That's my problem. Hello, Jim bro. Oh wow, why are you full screen? Problem is my knight's getting trapped. Have you ever played Heyday? Like the mobile game? Yeah. I used to play a lot with my grandmother. Which I suppose is the average Heyday experience. I am not sure about feeling the bananas, but right now you definitely sound bananas. I have a battle on with my friends on who gets further faster. Give me item. Wait, I haven't played Heyday in like 4 years. I don't even have it installed. I'm not even sure if my account still exists. It probably does, knowing how these games work. But download that. bro is addicted to Heyday. I mean, I suppose there are worse things to get addicted to. Heyday is based. Oh wait, why is Heyday based? No. I want to hear this. Explain. Explain. I need the Heyday lore. Somehow my position actually isn't bad. I don't know how that happened, because it seems like I've been doing my darndest to play bad moves, but somehow I'm in a decent position. Okay, I made some changes to my display setup, and I think it's causing some serious lag, so I need to just fix that at some point. Addicted to other things. I got chess club tomorrow. Why is that a sad face? Making your own food and all this liberal American McDonald's. That's a very interesting spelling of McDonald's. Being able to produce milk and eggs like the RNIM. Ah, Twitch chat. How I missed you. Sad face because there's no challenge. So then be like me, right? I'm the best player in my chess club, so what did I do? I'm starting to teach the 7-year-olds, so that by the time they're like 15, they might actually be able to beat me. So simple. Learn to solve your problems, people. Okay, it's just cool. Love that. Can you download Heyday and sell me an item for 1 coin, please? I am in desperate needs. You see, what's in it for me, Jim Bro? Because I feel like Heyday resources are a pretty scarce commodity. And so, being the economics student I am, I feel like it would be remiss of me to just let you have it. You know? Mm-hmm. I'll pray for you every night if you give item. Taking advantage of my Christian virtues, I see. I'm considering it. What item do you mean? I remember Heyday vaguely, so I might know what you're talking about if you tell me what it is you're trying to get. So like what are we doing here? What's the Heyday play? Highly offensive? Why is that highly offensive? Oh, I expect it takes with rook. Yeah, this looks much worse than takes with rook. It's like, yeah, I guess he gets to play d3 now, but I don't think that's that scary. Ah, yes. Internet. No, but what do you want me to sell you? I'm confused. Memphis? What happened to being Finnish? Okay, wait. Actually, a strong start. Any items for 1 coin so I could sell it for higher on the market? Is this? Would your friends be okay with you doing this? Or is it one of those things where you're 100% sure they're doing the same? Bro, Finnish being Finnish? Does that make him more or less Finnish? Because I feel like my economy will suffer if I just siphon all of my resources to you for 1 coin. I mean, this is Banana Republic nonsense. What about my farm? Have you ever thought about that, huh? I said, what about my farm, huh? Have you ever considered that? Considered that maybe I want to have a productive farm? No, why would I want to siphon all of my resources to you? Hello, Pixen. For the memes. For you to beat your friends. So this isn't about the means of production, it's about the memes of production. I'm surprised my captions actually got that 100% right. Okay, give me a second. Ah, yes, of course. Naturally, that command would 100% work. Okay, give me a second. Does my Heyday account still exist? Now I need to know. Legit haven't played this game. It must have been longer than 4 years. I'm trying to think. How long has it been since I've played Heyday? How stupid is this? I don't think it's stupid. I think I'm genius. I think I'm cooking. Hello, Gone. I just sacrificed a piece. Okay, give me a second. Joining attorney? Ooh. $18.53. Well, that's a respectable elo. That's a respectable elo. Ooh, look at this move. Look at that. Look at that beauty. Look at that beaut. I love Peace Sacrifice. Bro's cooking. Yeah, no, I'm not sure that Sack worked because he might have been able to play Queen D6. I hadn't finished calculating it. But I decided calculating was for nerds anyway, so I didn't want to do it. If that, I was probably actually just going to take the pawn anyway and sacrifice the second piece. Because, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound, right? But thankfully, my opponent made my life easier by not even making me have to do that. Because now I could just do something like this. Right? And now he's got even more problems. Doing that in rapid is wild. I mean, it worked. Okay, watch that be a sound sacrifice. Watch the piece sacrifice be sound. Guys, it's plus 1.3. Would you like to ask any questions? Does anyone have any questions to ask? What do you want from me? Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? She's doing pretty well, actually. Was it brilliant? It better have been brilliant. No, because knight takes d5 first was way better. But I wanted to have fun. I mean, it might give it brilliant, but it shouldn't. I love the Catalan. This is such a good opening. Cyberbullying. And that's what chess.com gets for putting me at such a low elo. Yeah, it calls it a mistake, but I'm still better. And then queen a7 is terrible. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I want to see something. Can I play knight e5? Yeah, I can just play knight e5. Nice. Absolutely I do, Jim bro. You should focus on endgames, not openings. And I have full compensation for the piece. Look at this bishop. Look at these knights. Look at this rook. All of my pieces are absolutely amazing. This, and I'm just going to get my material back. What are you going to do? And even if you like defend your rook somehow, just e4. And now I have the full center as well. I have everything. I have everything. Why play, I mean, just, why even play h3 first? Why not just go g4 directly? My knight guards the pawn. Like, legit. I mean, it's not good here. Just take the center, though. No, don't overcomplicate it. Look at this position. This is called positional compensation. G4 to h3? Ah, true. I'm going to allow that. I'm going to allow it. Replace the England with something a bit more sound. Just play chess. Also, good for you, Jim bro. Happy to hear it. Okay, let's cook somebody else. Again, my display is... I've completely messed things up. I can rematch if you want, Mr. Petar. It was an accident, I swear. I'm good as well. Again, I've completely messed up my entire system, but I can fix it. Caro Kant is my favorite, but I should learn it. It's not my favorite, but I should learn it. Well, if you don't enjoy it, why play it? Oh no, I clicked download, but I haven't tried it. I told you, I swear I have an account. Up. Give me a second, I want to know if I still have all my old stuff. Oh no, I don't. It doesn't look like I do. Because I just got the opening cutscene. Cringe. That's what I mean. Like, if you don't enjoy the opening, why are you dealing with it? Just... Okay. Stay serious. It's not that I don't enjoy it, just like the England more. Well, you could play a person, especially if you're not playing at Grandmaster level, you can play slightly dubious openings. And if you just are better at playing the opening than your opponent, then you'll do well regardless. I don't know if I ever used a Supercell ID. Again, I played it a long time ago. I mean... Got 23.94 yesterday, so close. Oh. You can do it, I believe. What should the name of my farm be? Chat, what should the name of my Heyday farm be? This is a true Zoomer stream. I'm literally trying to set up a Heyday account while playing chess. Good recommendations. All strong options. The Federal Cheese Mine. No, it's the Federal Cheese Mines. We're calling it the Federal Cheese Mines. Federal Cheese Mines. Yeah, let's go. No, the Federal Cheese Mines. Boom, it let me do it. Payday confirmed best video game of all time. Okay, it's telling me how to harvest. Okay. I can't be the only one who thinks that the Heyday wheat bits look like chicken. Look like drumsticks. Look at this. They look exactly like drumsticks. Ooh, being able to verbally harass strangers. That sounds fun. This is such a dumb position. Ooh, I can put some of my wheat back to okay, boom. Seeds need time to grow, and harvest each field produces 2 crops. Gotcha. Okay, go. School's such a lovely place. What dimension are you in, bro? Speaking of dimensions, I don't trust this for my opponent. Okay, let me cook, fellas. Fellas, let me cook. All my fellas. All my fellas. All my fellas. This is why I love this way of playing this opening. So much dumb stuff happens. Hold on a second. I might be able to win a pawn. I'm trying to find if I have better. My plan is takes, queen takes, and then queen takes h4, which is a pawn, but I want more. I want more. Knight g6 looks funny. g4, queen g2, or queen h1. Going farm grind? Yes, sir, I got redemption. Maybe I'm dumb, but I never asking a question, if you know what I mean. How do you mean, Lucas? Just like ask a random question? I mean, I feel like you don't really need a redemption to do that. It's fine, I'll just win a pawn. It'd be funny though. Well, are you trying to make it so that I have to answer the question? So it's one of those things where it's like I can't back out or something? I can't say, no, I don't feel like answering that question. I have to answer it. Is that what you're trying to do? Yes. Oh, okay, okay, I see. I respect it. Bobby versus Gucci Reza. It's Gucci Rizzer, okay? Because he's a Rizzard. Anyways, I do have a question. Who? Prada versus Vidit, Naka versus Abasov. Well, it's gonna be an interesting round. Ooh, look, my wheat has grown back. Nippo versus Kukesh. How do I stop being stupid? I can't keep up with what is and isn't bad to say. He's the Rizzler. I understood all of that and I hate it. Why did I understand all of that? Yeah, it's a but it's like a, see, it's a medical term, yes. However, it's difficult because I feel like it's a medical term that's slowly been losing favor. Had pasta bolognese. Also, how are you? Pretty good. So bolognese, not gonna lie, Rexbor, kind of a boring pasta. Kind of an L choice. I'm not dignifying that question with an answer, Jim, bro. What am I doing in this position? See, I'm up 3 pawns, however, my pieces are terrible. I could play this. Looks good. Nah, fam, not the way I make it. I think it spices your eyes tear up when you take a whiff. Bolognese is still an L pasta. It don't matter how you make it. Up 3 pawns? Yes. But my pieces are real bad. They're real bad. I'm actually not the most angry about this. I'm actually okay with this. They have Rook F7. I think Rook F7, no, I think Knight C7 followed by Rook F7 was good. Now, whether or not it was, the move, I don't know, but it looked good. But now I just get a ton of activity, I think. Cool chess nerd? Isn't that an oxymoron? I see only truth in your statement. No. I'm doing pretty okay. Again, I'm sick, which means I'm tired. But however, for some reason, I'm winning my chess games. I don't know how. So I'm not going to try to pretend I understand what the heck is going on. But I'm winning, so I'm not going to complain. I mean, like, I'm playing a decent game of chess. Cool nerd is an oxymoron, but who cares? Probably a nerd. I'm assuming nerds would care. Had better. I'm in no rush. Let me take it slow. Tony Fontaine's DC show sold out. Great show in the making. Well, that makes me glad I got my ticket. Lol. I got my ticket immediately. Well, for a while there, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it. However, I am going to be able to make it. So I got my ticket. Have you guys watched the new Invincible season? I watched the first episode or two and bounced off it hard, even though I loved the first season. I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore with the poorly thought out multiverses, man. Do you believe in heaven? Yeah.
Okay, I gotta tell you my dream from last night before I forget it. So this is the basic. It was very long.
I can't do it anymore. Wait, what multiverse? What do you mean, what multiverse?
You were performing,
In the first episode. It's like the inciting incident of the whole show.
and
I'm trying, like, I mean...
before you said no one knew where you were.
I forgot? Well, it's a poorly thought through multiverse. And I hate it. Because it's a poorly thought through multiverse. It's a pet peeve. It really bothers me more than it should. It lives rent-free in my head. What do you think about heaven? Just a desire of humans? It's just humans being greedy and looking for things after death? Are you asking what I think about that as an idea?
So you were undercover as one of the bartenders.
I'm at the very start of a farm, okay? I've got like 10 wheats, okay? Yep. Well, I mean, like I said before, I do believe in heaven, so I disagree with it. However, I can absolutely see why someone would believe it. You know, it's kind of, chicken or the egg thing almost, where... Did we create heaven to match our needs, or are our needs well matched by heaven? Or were we made to have our needs matched by heaven? Right?
You're undercover as one of the bartenders.
Character, literally one guy can travel through and he really doesn't matter. What do you mean it doesn't matter? The inciting incident, the entire way, everything that happened in the first episode was a result of the multiverse guy. And I can't, man. I can't anymore with the multiverses where the people don't spend 30 seconds thinking through anything.
This like massive tower, and then you revealed your face, and everyone's like, oh, and then you walked on stage and you killed it. So that was my dream. I just wanted to share.
Hoping 34 euros materializes. Based. And he gets dropped. I don't care if he gets dropped. I can't get invested in the show if, like, the entire concept of the show is brain dead. I can't. I cannot get invested. I can't. It bounces around in my head while I'm watching. It's a me issue. It absolutely is a me issue, but I can't do it, man. Bye, Void. Appreciate you stopping by. Episode 4 is literally the best episode of the show. I can't, man. I can't do it. It makes me angry. It makes me irrationally angry. Oh, he went on time. I'm stupid. This is why I shouldn't be playing Heyday during my chess games. Y'all are distracting me. I'm going to win this next one. I'm gaining Elo. I'm gaining Elo. I'm on that grind set. I'm currently getting all Paramore albums in vinyl because all albums have at least a couple bangers. That makes sense. I can get behind that. He's not addicted to the virtual farm, okay? He can stop at any time. Huh. Joke's on you, I actually live on a real farm. Checkmate. Liberals. Thank you for the kind donation of a pawn. Most Heyday players stop right before they harvest wheat. Exactly. Most Heyday players stop right before they unlock the ultimate farm. Euro. He could have taken the pawn. That was really stupid on my part. I gave him a free pawn. But he did not take it. I would be a really good gambler. I just never lose. I know, right? I don't know why people lose. It doesn't make any sense to me. Losing's a choice. Losing is a mental choice. You have to wake up that day and say, you know what? Today I'm going to lose. And I just wouldn't do that. I love Luppy. I don't know. It's a really weird position. Losing a sign of a feeble-brained soy boy gambler. Why did I read that out loud? See you, winner. I'm also a winner. G3, I'm a little scared. See, now that I had Queen A2, now G3 was a little more threatening, so that's when he prevented it. Which now my win condition is just trade. Yeah, no, the math works out. I'm an economics student. Trust me, I know. The math does not actually work out. Chat, the math doesn't work out. Got bad news. Here, here, here. Can he guard that? Oh, I could just play this, yeah. Lame. The Martingale system, more like the Martin Fail system. Boom, got him. My opponent has a skill issue, it's as simple as that. I'm pretty sure I know what this is. And if it is what I think it is, then calling it the Martin Fail system is putting it lightly. Can we not, Mr. Display? I'm playing terrible chess, that's what's happening. Yeah, definitely a mathematical fact. Definitely. 100%. The Martingale system comes from a incredibly deep understanding of the way math do. This is a huge problem. I need to fix this display thing, that issue that I'm having. I mean, I'm probably winning if I play it correctly. The problem is that's a pretty big if. Should have traded queens earlier. Hello, local. Simpler of these strategies designed for a game which the gambler wins. If they stake, the coin comes up. Yeah. No, I'm familiar with that as a strategy. The problem is that strategy is fundamentally slightly flawed. Sounds fishy? Well, I mean, the thing about it is technically, with infinite money, it works. The problem is the assumption of infinite money. For most people, the assumption of infinite money is false. This is probably a draw, probably. Strategy is tied to a paradox that isn't good. That's a generalization. which is basically like racism. Internet be rap hip hop fan, lots of big artists saying diss tracks to each other. I sent you the Rick Ross one, didn't I? Yeah, I pinged you in my Discord server about the Rick Ross response to Drake. Goes unreasonably hard. No, I mean technically it works. The problem is dealing with that does not sound like fun. Looks unfortunate. Not in love with this position. I think this. You can win money, but a real gambler puts all his money on black, loses and becomes an alcoholic. Yeah, no, that's just the way you have to do it. Anything else is fake. That is not true. It's not close to impossible. Plus, the game being rigged is literally the point of casinos. Saying the chances of losing that many times in a row being close to impossible is a fundamental misunderstanding of statistics. You see J. Cole apologize for the diss? It's so crazy, man. The diss wasn't even good. The diss wasn't even good. Like, I mean, at least if you're going to burn somebody and apologize, like, make it something epic. You know? Make everyone be like, oh, I can't believe you said that. And then it's like, okay. I can see why you apologized for that. Because it's like, you murdered him, you know? There wasn't any murdering happened there. It was weak sauce. Call him a poopy head? Literally. Unironically, the poopy head strat might have worked better than what J. Cole did. Unfortunate. Yeah, the J. Cole diss was just mid. I now casinos are right, but saying hypothetically in a fair situation is mathematically unbreakable. No, because exponential growth is really fast. And so, even though the chances of getting to a very high step of the exponential growth is low, though it grows fast enough that it doesn't matter. You're not going to get to 25 in a row, even if you start with €1. Plus, the thing is, you're only going to ever win €1. You're never, ever going to win more than €1. So, first off, the casino will always have a chance to kick you out first, which is neither here nor there, but they always will have that as the possibility. Yeah, I know he didn't. Again, that problem assumes so many different degrees of infinity that it becomes fundamentally meaningless. That the results you extrapolate from it become fundamentally meaningless. Because again, one execution of the strategy will only ever give you a $1 gain. Yeah, no, going for albums was such a weird play. Like, that's arguably Kendrick's strongest quality. Why would you target that? Like, the only thing Drake said about Kendrick's discography is, your last record was bad. Which, I mean, it was definitely mixed when it comes to reviews. Mr. Morale was bad. I haven't listened to it, so I don't know, but it got a lot more mixed reception than the rest of Kendrick's stuff. Now, how much of that's an indication of it being bad is up to interpretation. Didn't care for Mr. Morale? See what I mean? And regardless of if it was bad or not, it's better than saying T-Pab was terrible. It's just kind of experimental. Well, either way, that's... Some of Drake's lines in his diss are kind of funny. No, I mean, the whole... I always fall for this, man. I'm so dumb. The whole how you big steppin' was size 7 men's, that's hilarious to me. I found that thoroughly funny. Yeah, I'm not a huge Kendrick guy either. I'm just in it for the drama at this point. At this point, I'm just in it for the drama. Hello, Ronnie. What a goofy position. Okay, where's your attack? Such a bad game of chess I'm playing. I love BCNR. I'm currently listening to Snow Globes. So, yes. Although, to be fair, I need to listen to Skinty Fia. That way I can know all the lyrics before the concert. No, I'm not sure why he let me play this. For me, Mr. Morale, album was therapy session for Kendrick. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not saying I agree with Drake. Don't get me wrong. Today's Titanic Remembrance Day. Well, it didn't do a very good job because I don't remember the Titanic. Okay. Fancy Feet is very good. Jackie Down the Line from Holiday are just songs I really want to hear live. Same. Big Shot I really didn't care for as much. Like, I get it. I can get behind it. I just didn't care for it. I did see the new Joker trailer. I'm actually super excited. Oh, really? I like the lyricism. Okay, I can get... again, like, I'm hardly saying that Big Shot is a terrible song. It didn't hit for me the same way as a lot of the other songs did. I'm the Joker, baby. No. Not sure if Kendrick or Tyler, the creator, said this, but someone said something like, I'd absolutely hate if I made the same album twice. Like, Kendrick was very successful to Pimp a Butterfly, but if he made T-Pab Part 2, it'd be pretty lame. Yep. No, I'm not trying to burn Kendrick. Don't misunderstand me. Well, the problem is we live in a society, Rexbor, so it's difficult to express the society I just lost a piece. Just lost my queen. Good job, Alka. It's difficult to express that we live in a society without expressing directly that we live in a society. Exactly, Jim Bro. Someone who understands my point. Sometimes you just feel like the Joker, baby. No, but the Joker 2 trailer, I am very cautiously optimistic. Hello, Tin. Like, I'm not sure if I want to be excited just because of how often I've been disappointed by movies, but like, new Nerd City video? Yeah, I saw that. You have not streamed for a while? It's because I've been sick and tired. And I'm still pretty sick and tired, actually. That hasn't changed a lot. I just decided that I can't keep waiting to not be sick and tired if I'm permanently sick and tired, you know what I mean? Got some mild positional problems. I guess everything loses, so it doesn't really matter. I'm watching so long. It has been a while, Tin. Yeah. I started pretty strong, but... Okay, viewer games. Shakespeare quotes? I'm sure I've heard quite a few. Oh, pardon me. So, do you think the theory is true that Drake's team leaked it on purpose? If the public liked it, they later on officially released it, but the public hated it, they would have said it's AI. I think it was leaked on purpose, but I don't think that was why. To be or not to be, I've heard. All the world's a stage, I've heard. Romeo, Romeo, I've heard. Now is the winter of our discontent, I haven't heard. Is this the dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand? I have not heard that one. The lady doth protest too much, methinks. Heard that one. Beware the Ides of March. Heard that one. Get thee to a nunnery. Heard that one. If the music be the food of love, play on. Heard that one. What is in a name? Rose by any other name would be smell sweet. I've heard that one. The better part of valor is discretion. Did I forget to open the queue like an idiot? Okay, I forgot to open the queue because I don't actually know how to stream. Oh, Happy Dagger, let me die. I've heard that one. All that glistens is not gold. Heard that one. Friends, Romans, countrymen. I've heard that one. Cry havoc. And let slip the dogs of war. I feel like I've heard that one. I completely forgot to open the queue. The queue's open now. So I've heard like most of these. Oh, Flicks. There are more things in heaven and earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. Ooh. Not all that gold is glitters. Not all those who wander are lost. Well, that's Tolkien. What do you mean you can't use the piece of junk? Okay, give me a second. Something's clearly going wrong. No, I see the problem here. I see the problem. Okay, it's a bug. Fixed it. Tolkien is greater than Shakespeare. You know what? True. Has my turn come? Yes. I'll play you now, King. I forgot your name, though, so you'll have to send me a challenge. Yeah, I've heard most of these, Ronnie. Which, I mean, makes sense. I have heard that one, too. Oh, game show? Even better. Hey! Big Dub's gone. I'm just very frustrated, because for the past week and a half, everything has been way harder and way less successful. It's just a piece of junk, cold, or code, or whatever it is I have. You highly educated? I've just read some Shakespeare. Tolkien could write Romeo and Juliet, but Shakespeare couldn't write the Silmarillion. Whoa, that's a take. Low-key, I agree, though. No, but it's the standing on the shoulders of giants thing, right? We're calling Tolkien better than Shakespeare isn't fair to Shakespeare because for Tolkien to exist, there almost had to exist a Shakespeare before him. You know what I mean? Knowing Shakespeare equals good education? Ah. I am low-key spitting. Low-key. That isn't fair, yes, but I know I'm right. Oh, no, you're right anyway. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just qualifying your statement. You're still right. And I still agree. You're not going to get Tolkien hate from me, but hey, that rhymed. But, yeah, I need to read some Dostoevsky. Explain in Fortnite terms. So you know how in Fortnite, if you want to do the strat where you build up way high so people can't kill you, and you just wait for the storm to shrink, and you need to, like, you know, start it really far away, like a sky base. In order to start a sky base, you need to have a base somewhere really far away before you can have the sky base, because stuff won't float. You know, if someone breaks the bottom, they'll break the top. And so Shakespeare's like the bottom of the sky base, right? And Tolkien is like the actual base. The base is the better part. It's the exciting part. It's the cool part. But for it to exist, there had to be the start of the sky base. You're welcome. Appealing to the demographic. Tolkien is the thickest part of the base. He totally is. Okay, hold on a second. King's Gambit declined. Okay. Oh, Shakespeare invented 1 billion words. He invented so many words. This might be wrong, so don't, like, quote me on this. However, It's entirely possible that Shakespeare is largely the source of the English culture of just stealing and making up words. That's something that's like somewhat unique to English, where it's like encouraged to just make up words and steal words from other languages or smash words together to make new words, you know? You know what happened when the French invaded? No, the French invaded, smashed two languages together. But I'm saying it for it to be like a cultural thing, for people to want to, in everyday speech, mix together words. I'm not saying that the English language had multiple languages in it because of Shakespeare. I'm saying that became a normalized part of writing and speaking. The beast is coming outside of me. He wrote the words used in his level of society. Oh yeah. Didn't Shakespeare invent the name Jessica? I have no idea. I have another game to show after this when I rejoin. I made the kid do a walk of shame. On, let's go. H3, bishop h5. Didn't you just get your bishop trapped, egg? Oh, it was a sacrifice. Okay, this can't be good. I mean, neither can this. Okay, hold on a second. Hold on. Timeout. Rexpor. I hate it, but yes. Literally. Oh. Man, I'm too tired. No, I almost said some stuff. No, I would have regretted. Okay. Queen g2, bishop takes f3, rook takes f3. Wasn't Juliet 13? Just like I'm just making sure I remember my Shakespeare. Just like I'm pretty sure she was 13. Yeah, okay. He was, and then he was like 15 or something. Or no, maybe he was older than that. Romeo was 16 years old. I was close. Romeo was 16 years old. Juliet is 13 years old. Not exactly great. Not exactly ideal age gap for a romance play. I'm not great, Ronnie. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean? What should I? She says, I hate it, but I hate how we got here. I hate how we got here. We're here. What's the youngest age you think an 18-year-old male can date? I don't know, man. That depends so much on the context, but like I would definitely be suspicious if it were younger than 17. Like I wouldn't trust it if it were younger. Theoretically, I can imagine there being a context where it's okay, but I find it highly unlikely, so I would be suspicious. Well, I don't care about laws. That's not what I'm talking about. You didn't ask what is the legal age. You asked what I thought like makes sense. Or at least that's how I interpreted the question. Yeah, like that, or if he just turned 18, or I don't know. Again, like, there could be... Well, of course, it depends on the country. If the grades don't touch, neither should the two people. Based. Well, I think it's wrong, Ronnie. I mean, like, I'm not sure if that's controversial. I don't think it's a good idea, like, at all. I think it's very bad, in fact. I would call it reprehensible. Yes, gone. Yes. Exactly, Rexpor. I don't find that funny at all. I find that sickening. Well, we can't judge history by today's standard? Yes, but you get to you get to a place where it ends up being so bad that it doesn't even matter anymore. Like, let me Google this to make sure I remember exactly Muhammad's marriage situation. Let me just make sure I remember this correctly, because I'm pretty sure I remember this. I want to confirm. Exactly. Why are kids dating? That's the first. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, I was right. Yeah. At some point. Yeah. I'm not going to let that go through, Jim Bro, just because it's a bit much even for the discussion. But yeah, at some point it doesn't matter anymore. You can't judge history. At some point it's just clearly wrong. I mean, I don't think historical precedent has any matter when it's that obvious. We need kids back in the mines. It's Minecraft, man. I'm telling you. Minecraft has proven that the kids yearn for the mines. Like, I understand, and I agree, that you can't judge history to today's standards in its entirety. But that doesn't mean, like, genocide was okay. You know what I mean? Exactly, yeah. Like, at some point, you get to the point where it doesn't matter that it was history anymore. It's just so clearly horrible and reprehensible that it doesn't matter. Does it make Muhammad's teachings bad because practice what you preach? It makes his teachings about marriage bad. About other subjects, I don't agree with Muhammad's teachings in general. I'm not Muslim, but like, I'd have to think about it to think if that's a fair way of judging someone's teachings. Why are my messages not blocked? Done. You know what? Let me just micro mute you. Can you just stop, Flix? Like, I understand funny test the censorship system I have on my stream, but it gets a little much. He didn't get banished. He's back. I timed him out for 1 second just to delete his messages. He just was spamming all the things he could think that would be blocked to see what got blocked. I have no idea. The mute, auto mute is kind of stupid, but it's also kind of stupid. It's actually not that stupid. It's just I have very weird standards for what I allow and what I don't, because it depends on the context a lot for me. But wasn't it more common way back when to get married right after? To some degree, yes, local, because also people, also life expectancy being shorter made a difference. However, the ages we're dealing with Muhammad are not even that. It was far worse than that. Come on, guys, seriously. I allow a lot of things within context. Well, this is macabre. This is the first time this has been a problem. And I will ban people if I have to. I just would really rather not. Just a few people were spamming. Love calling it existential dread. Trying to just randomly find what my profanity filter blocks does not cause existential dread. Do you know how much people get away with on Twitch? I'm fine. It's more annoying than anything else. Alco, do I cook noodles or stay in this nice air-conditioned room? You give me the choice. Well, I'm in a nice air-conditioned room, but I also just had noodles, so... Or pasta, it wasn't noodles. I romanticize healthy relationships. See, I would, but the problem with romanticizing healthy relationships, that I feel like it sets unfair relationship standards for the rest of us. Never mind, sorry. Sorry. Bit egocentric. How is it egocentric? You made your motivations very clear, and your actions only made sense with those motivations in mind. I don't understand how egocentric is the word. I feel like I've heard it before, Ronnie, but I don't remember off the top of my head. You also have to keep in mind, I'm sick, and so my mental capacity is significantly lower than it normally is. And I feel like that's part of the reason people are pushing back a little bit more than they normally do, is because I'm not doing as good a job as I normally do while we're here. It's a problem. Whenever I'm sick, I'm just significantly less capable with keeping up with everything. On the chessboard and in chat. Alco, if you were an all-powerful being who could do literally anything, can you make a rock that you can't lift? So, saying you're an all-powerful being, the problem with all-powerful is it's like trying to do math with infinity, right? You get to a point in our math system where the numbers can no longer be calculated, can no longer be computed. Our numerical system cannot wrap its head around numbers, and I feel like logic gets the same place. You get to some states where logic can't wrap its head around it, you know? So like dividing by 0, you get a nonsense result, and it won't let you result. And if you ask why, it's just because we can't. Now the answer is because our numerical system just can't comprehend it. And so once you start getting into all-powerful and infinitely powerful, you go beyond what human logic is capable of expressing. Night, Rexport. Relax, Gon. Relax. Marriage being a social construct. I mean, kind of. It depends how you define social construct. Math teacher was arrested last year. Guys joined the classroom. Immense violence and overall very tragic situation. What do you do? Divide by 0. Exactly. See my point? Hello, Onion. Oh wow, I just got raided by 1 billion people. Okay, give me a second. Shout out button. Work. It didn't work. Okay, well, you know, what you gonna do? I have to do it by hand. Ugh. How's the stream? Okay, so. Ugh. Live translation? That's innovative. Thank you. I stole it from an open source repository I found online. I fixed your raid for you. Thank you, Onion. I appreciate it. Hello. You're cooked in rapid. I'm getting cooked because I'm sick and sleep deprived. Now I'm still here because I don't know what's good for me. Multiply my cows by 0 and they go. True. He's just like me, for real, for real. Yes, I'm very relatable. Mariana, thank you so much for the follow. I'm assuming it's Mariana. It could be Marijana, but the J in this reads more like a soft J to me. Onion led the raid here. I appreciate it. What am I doing? Whose turn was it? I also forgot to open the queue when I started stream, because I'm a professional. May marijuana, you never know. This is true. I'm assuming you're actually probably right. That is probably the intention. Okay, so my next command just isn't working. Is it working in chat, but just my macro isn't working? Okay, my macro just isn't working. Well, now we know where the problem is, at least. Let's see if that fixes it. Alright, want to play Blitz? Yes. You have a macro? Yes. Or at least in theory I have a macro. Evidently I don't. I say for a scholarship that's chess related. What's the topic? If you don't mind me asking. Let me plug in my mouse. Oh, bro is tryharding. He's locking in. Which disease you're having? Well, I wouldn't say I'm diseased. However, I think it's just like a cold. It might be COVID or something adjacent. I hope you feel better soon. Thank you. I feel better today than I had like day before yesterday, but the problem is to just make it difficult to sleep. And so I wake up as tired as I went to bed. Which is very annoying. Hey, thanks so much for the 5 bits. Do you go to doctor? Nah. If it stays and becomes a long-term issue, then I'll go to the doctor, but I don't see a need to go to the doctor for a cold. It's, you know, not that serious of a thing. Nightflix. I don't think he thought this through. Yeah, no, he didn't think this through. Oh. I am in full control over everything. This feels mean. Mm-hmm. Okay, okay. This bishop's just terrible. Start working on our pieces. Ooh, that was a bad move. Yeah. I can switch in Zug to actually not lose all of my material, but still hardly a position worth celebrating. Okay. Comeback time? Well, I'm not that losing. Like, again, I'm not exactly celebrating my position, but it's not the end of the world. Come on, piece of junk. I mean, this looks just kind of bad for white. Wow. Don't you wow me. Hey, I'm not the one who built myself a mating net. I'm not the one who built a mating net around myself. You built a mating net. Or you let me. How has chess impacted your life? In what ways, in and outside of chess, have you adopted after-school activities program? Okay. Values, perseverance, sportsmanship, and respect. Yeah, it's a drawn position. I'll accept a draw there. And I also asked about your plans after high school, of course. Interesting. I'm just happy that I got to mention the federal cheese mines on one of my exams. Here we go. Remember what I'm supposed to do in this position? No, I do not. I probably messed something up already, haven't I? Yeah, not in love with my position. Not gonna lie to you. And Maple Reserve? Well, at least the Maple Reserve is intentional. The cheese mines are only there because there's too much cheese. How would you survive zombie apocalypse? I wouldn't. I would be the comic relief that dies in like episode 2 to signal a change in tone. You know? I could not think of a name. 567. Thank you for the follow, and I feel you. I understand. The pain is real. Because my plan was bad. My plan was not good. Unique experience of sitting at a chessboard and seeing an opponent who is a decade younger than you. And having to be one of the hardest fought games of all time. Ooh, that's an interesting topic. Yeah, that's a pretty universal chess player experience right there. That question doesn't quite make sense to me, because Jesus doesn't punish us. That was kind of the point. Likes every offer, can't kill. See, I wish. Now, comic relief plot armor is real, and that's why I try to be funny. It's because, listen, it's just the best strategy, right? It's so much easier than being productive. However, you get the same benefit. I'm telling you. I'm min-maxing. And going to hell doing not be a Christian? Well, see, here's the thing. That's not punishing, right? Because again, the logic of it is we are marching to hell, and it's a rescuing, right? So it's backwards. Now that's one. And two, being perfect is impossible. That's like the message of Christianity. It honestly feels nice about having to write an essay about chess, not having to put that about chess terms. Like, you don't have to explain terms like elo, eval, bar, check, checkmate, etc. The person reading my essay likely has good chess background knowledge. Oh, that's super nice. Yeah, I know a few people who've written some of their school essays on chess. God is bound by the rules, or did he create the rules? He created the rules? To my knowledge. Oh, it was my move? I didn't see this. It didn't show up on my screen. Again, I've had serious technical issues to stream as well. Except history? Well, there's different psychological aspects. You can explain some of the systems. Yeah, but he also created us. Because that's free will. It was our choice. That's the point, right? Because if we couldn't choose, then we wouldn't have free will to begin with. He doesn't have to capitalize the G in God if he doesn't believe in God. That's silly. That's what I mean. Again, I'm not a theologian, so I'm learning myself still. My essay is 2 pages max, 11 font, double spaced. And for me personally, finding a 2-page essay maximum is way harder than a 4-page essay minimum. Like, I want to yap so much, but I have to like condense it and cut parts out. So for me, it partially depends on the topic, but also so part of what I enjoy about writing is trying to find the clearest way of putting something in as simply as possible. Like, I know it was a meme when he said it, but like when Jim Bro asked me earlier to try to explain why Shakespeare is necessary for Tolkien in Fortnite terms, you know what I mean? Where is he? Heaven or hell or purgatory? Well, in the Protestant view, I don't think purgatory exists. It would still be hell because it's still free will. Explain the King's Indian defense. Oh, your screen is frozen? I'm telling you, man. It's a problem. Okay, hold on a second. King's Indian defense with Mario Party terminology. I can do this. Let me cook. Is there a specific Mario Party game, or can I use any of them? Well, the argument philosophically, I could not think of a name, is that in that case there would be no free will. right? Because there wouldn't be any other choice. Like, you can't have free will without things to choose between. I'm talking like a free will in this form of free will to make decisions, to make decisions based on ethics. Any of them? So think of the King's Indian like playing a character in one of the new Super Mario Party, like the new Super Mario Party game. I forget which one it's called, where the characters have different dice, right? And so the King's Indian, you're basically playing a character whose dice have lower numbers, but also have plus coins on them. So the idea here is that while you're slower, the idea is you build up enough that it ends up being worth it. You end up making up for it because you gain so much value out of your items later on and of things being placed well later on that you win anyway, even though you started with moving slower across the board. So yes, you don't move across the board as quickly, but the idea is when you get there, you can better capitalize on everything you've done because you have the items you need to take advantage of the situation. And so the argument from a non-King's Indian player is, oh, that's dumb. I'm just going to move across the board and collect a bunch of stars, and I'm going to win, and you're not going to be able to catch up. Good luck. You know? Free will doesn't exist, it's an illusion? How do you mean? See, I don't like free will not existing. I feel like free will not existing makes it impossible to impose any ethical system, because if free will doesn't exist, then you're not responsible for any of your actions. GG's. I don't like that. You missed mate in one? I don't care, I won anyway. I was chilling. Perfect explanation? I think I could have done better if I had more time. Do you believe in destiny? No. Kind of. What do you mean by destiny? Yes, but just because you don't like it doesn't make it not true. I also don't like it. Yeah, but what causes you to think that there's no such thing as free will? What brings you to that conclusion? Can you be LGBTQ and a Christian? Is there any contradiction? So technically, from a pure theological perspective, very few things contradict with being a Christian to the point where you can't be this and be a Christian. The point of being a Christian is that you don't have to obey the laws and the ethical systems and whatever. That's kind of the point, right? So even if, hypothetically, we were to say that being LGBTQ is wrong, then you could still be LGBTQ and be a Christian. Because a Christian isn't about doing everything correctly. Any action do is based upon a want you didn't choose. Do you choose to have empathy? Okay, it's based upon the want. I didn't say our choices are 100% free will, but that doesn't mean you don't get to have any sort of influence on your decision-making process. Do I believe in karma? I believe that karma would exist in a perfect world. However, we don't live in a perfect world, so karma only sometimes exists. Basically. That's a very simplified version of that. What about that stone verse? Which one specifically are you talking about? Assume someone wants to suffer. Would an omnibenevolent God let them suffer? I mean, that's kind of paradoxical, because if they want to suffer, then suffering wouldn't be suffering. Because that's what they want. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Well, Jesus had crooked teeth, though? He probably did. What's your point? Why can't you actually love the Lord if you're another night in the club and the other day in church? It's called being lukewarm if you constantly sin and acknowledge it and try not to change. Well, yeah. But my point is, it doesn't make it impossible for you to be a Christian. That's not how that works. We don't get to just say, oh, they're not a Christian because of this. That's not for us to say. That was my point. However, and also, maybe you're implying something that's going over my head, but if you're not, then I wouldn't say there's anything necessarily wrong with going to the club. I don't go clubbing because I don't like it, but like, exactly, so therefore, hell to those people is heaven, right? No, because then it's heaven, not hell. That doesn't make any sense. But my point is that is a contradiction in its core. Because like those people don't exist. That's not something that exists. Unrated. It was still in the unrated pool after playing you. That's pretty funny. That's like I agree with you on that. Okay, so that was a gut check. That was a vibe check question. I can respect it. Nimzo Indian, how does it differ? The Nimzo Indian is very different from the King's Indian. So, long story short, the Indian is basically... Okay. Let me just go into the analysis tool real quick. The Indian is basically this. You play knight f6 before you play any central moves against d4. So an Indian is knight f6 before central pawn push against d4. Now, what kind of Indian it is depends on what you do next. g6 is a King's Indian, because in the g6 you play the Indian on the king side. So I'm going to just move the knight back and forth with white to make a point. In the King's Indian, you play almost entirely on the king side here, and you start your king side development first. You play this, and you play on the king side. You have your king side pawn setup, right? Just before I continue, Margaret, just want to say you're fun to talk to. Like how eloquent you are. Thank you. I really try. I don't feel like I'm that eloquent yet. It's annoying, but I think I have people who I listen to talk, and I'm like, I want to be like that. However, something I've noticed is those people are all like 50 or older, and so I don't think that at 22 it's possible for me to be as eloquent as I want to be, which is kind of encouraging. Anyway. Okay, check the verse that I quoted. Give me a second. I missed it. There's a lot of messages. I'm trying to keep up, and I'm doing a decent job. Male lies with a male as a woman. As with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. Thou shalt surely be put to death. And their blood is upon them. Okay, so. Two things. Well, three things. One, I haven't looked into this verse super deeply yet. I've heard somewhere that the word for man, the second word for man, is the word for boy. So it's more of a child thing and less of a man with a man thing. However, I don't know that for certain because I haven't read it. I haven't looked into it. That's number one. Number two, that's Leviticus, which is old law, right? And is no longer strictly necessary, or necessary in general, because Leviticus also has verses about like not eating pork, which I don't think is something that Christians have to worry about, right? And then three, like I said before, just because you sin doesn't mean you're not a Christian. Anyway, so this is the King's Indian because you're setting up an Indian defense. You start with an Indian and you do this king side structure. Then you also have the Queen's Indian, which instead of going for the queen side setup, the king side setup, you go for the queen side setup. So you go like this bishop goes here, you play this, and then you bring like this bishop out, you play c5, d5, that sort of thing. Right? So this is the Queen's Indian because you get to do the queen side fianchetto. Now the Nimzo Indian, if I remember correctly, I get the Nimzo and another Indian get confused, so you're going to have to work with me here. This might be the Nimzo. Yeah, this is the Nimzo. So the Nimzo Indian is the Indian. However, you do this quick bishop development. So it's about translation. Some of it is. So I don't know about the translation yet because I haven't looked into it. That's number one. Number two, again, Leviticus law is not relevant for, is not relevant. It's not the Christian source of law. So just because it appears as law in Leviticus doesn't necessarily mean it applied to Christians. Because Leviticus is Old Testament law for the Hebrews. And then again, three, even if it is law, just because you're not obeying the law doesn't make you not a Christian. Again, so those are my 3 points. One of those might be wrong or wrong in this case, but we aren't. You argue so much for free will. But why does God choose the free will of evil people over the free will of innocent people that get hurt by those people? Okay, hold on a second. What? What do you mean choose the free will of evil people over the free will of innocent people? Why are Christians online help LGBTQ so much? Because Christianity in the US especially has become far more about what we hate than what we love, which is backwards, because literally it says they will know us by our love. So I don't think I really disagree with those Christians. It's become a political thing in the US. Christianity has become political, which like is the opposite of what it should be, in my opinion. No. Should we love everyone? Absolutely. That's why I'm saying I don't agree with that. That's why I don't. I mean, last I checked, I don't rage against people on Twitter. Okay, so two things. One, hold on. So, I'm going to use murder. Okay, so I'm going to deny this message, not because, just because I'm not, so. No, not a problem. Don't worry about it. Opening for black and white. I prefer the Sicilian and the Dutch. The Dutch is a little bit dubious, a little bit suspicious, but it's really fun. And the Sicilian is very aggressive. I'm a fairly aggressive chess player. And then for white, I like playing knight f3 move 1 and transposing into a Catalan, which is like this sort of setup. Let me just get the pieces out on the board. This sort of thing. I think... No worries. I think I get your point. So, the classical Christian approach to this would be to say that there is no such thing as an innocent person. That's an oxymoron. Right? Because the argument is... any wrongdoing against an infinitely perfect God is effectively infinitely terrible. Well, I'm not Catholic local, but I know what you're talking about. So children are not innocent. No. Is the Bible pro-tax evasion? No. Give unto Caesar what is Caesar. Unfortunately, it is not. Nice try, Reed. Nice try, but the Bible is not anti. The Bible is not pro-tax evasion. Maybe they sinned in a previous life? Well, I don't believe in previous lives, but like, I mean, the bar for what's a sin is like hilariously low, I guess. Like, it's very it's not very difficult, it's impossible, effectively. To live a perfect life. That's a sin as well, Ree. They deserved it. So here's the thing. One, not more than anyone else, if they do. And two, no other person can do that. Because even if they do, that's not for humans to do. It's strictly not for humans to do. I wouldn't say they deserve it. I would say it'd be just. But there's a difference, and that's the hell argument, right? Is that going to hell is just for humans. But that isn't humans torturing other humans, because humans don't have the right to do that. That's not within the purview of what humans have the moral and ethical ability to do. Would you just let them in heaven if that innocent kid not Christian because too small to understand it? I actually don't know where I stand on that. I have not looked into that enough, and I know that that's a subject where there's some theological debate. I have not looked into it. Yes, I am. Who's next in queue? Queue's actually currently empty, so if you want to play again, Egg, I'm down. Age of Innocence, I think is what it's called, Ronnie, and I don't know. I have not looked into it yet. I'd have to read a lot about it and do, you know, praying and soul searching, right? Like I said, I don't know everything. Twitch chat shaking your beliefs? They're asking difficult questions. But the nice thing is, even if I don't know the answers to the difficult questions, I can seek out the answers. Why does... Okay, stinking chat is... Okay. Something's wrong with my commands, and I don't know what it is. In the meantime... Local, I'll play you. Yeah, I saw you click join, but I didn't see. Uncle's a sin spoil Endgame. Say Iron Man died. Like, what the heck? Why would you say that? I was just about to watch Endgame. Ruined my enjoyment, Jeremy. But I forgive you, Jeremy. Wherever you are. Yes. So Charlie gets born with a malignant disease and suffers for a few years and then dies. Is that justified for an omnibenevolent being? See, here's the problem. The issue is, if I say yes, it makes it sound like I condone the suffering of children, right? And what I'm trying to clarify here is that, like in a legal system, something would be a punishment is just if it's dished out in the way it should be in a legal system. Otherwise, it's not justice. Palestinian people suffering because they're away from Jesus? No. They're suffering because... well, war, I suppose. I'm not a Zionist. Is that a... Give me a second. Struggling to open. Remember this Bible boy? If I have 10 Bibles and I give Tommy 5 Bibles, will he play with me? Wait, what? Unauthorized action. I'm only seeing 5 games. Oh no, this is my library. It said unauthorized action. Oh no, now I see it. It worked. Well, I mean, yeah. That's kind of like the definition of God. So analyze game 7? That's kind of like the definition of God. Does God know about complex science too? I mean, in theory he would because he created it. It'd be kind of silly if he didn't. Omnipotent. Basically, I think your God is immoral. That doesn't... Well, see, that's the issue. How do you define morality? That's the problem here. Where does your definition of morality come from? Nothing was before God? Does that mean the world's a huge loop? How do you define morality? That's the... Because as a theist, it's easy, because you define morality in reference to what God says, because God is supernatural outside nature, therefore he defines morality. Right? But outside of that, how would you define morality? Because in order to say God is immoral, you need to have a moral system for him to not adhere to, right? So where does that come from? No, it's not loop. God is supernatural, therefore he's eternal. There's no loop because there's no beginning. Morality is subjective? See, well, then God being immoral, then you can't call something immoral. You can say, I feel like it's immoral, but you can't say it is immoral. The moral system is empathy. But then there's no objective statement of God is immoral because there's no objectivity. If morality isn't objective, then you can't make an objective statement about morality. I mean, you're thinking no morality without religion? I've never understood the arguments for morality without religion. I've never kind of gotten it. I know people have morality without religion, and I'm not saying that's impossible. I'm saying I don't understand it. Are human beings bad because of empathy? No. I think it's bad because human beings don't have the philosophical right to kill other human beings. Like, we're at the same level. We are worth the same thing. I don't get to kill you because I feel like it. That's not my right. I don't have permission to do that. It's not... I can't. I cannot morally kill another human being, right? It's not bad because of empathy. Empathy is irrelevant for the situation. It's irrelevant for the morality of it. It's not irrelevant in general. God, if you're real, let me fly or let me teleport. Oh, I've done that, yeah. Morality can be observed in nature, where they don't have words in between animals. But is that morality, or is that just a legal system, like a prisoner's dilemma sort of thing? What color were you in this game, Local? I forgot. I was black. Oh, okay. Pardon me. They don't have prisons? Why does them having prisons have anything to do with anything? The prisoner's dilemma is a thought experiment. Then we can't just then we just can't argue because it's not my moral system. My moral system is suffering is bad, therefore I don't want another innocent being to experience it. Well, wouldn't that make you a what's it called? People that believe that reproducing is bad because you're introducing more suffering into the universe? That's a legitimate question. Being Buddha was immoral? No. Immoral? I mean, yeah, the same way every other human is. The prisoner's dilemma. Yes. The prisoner's dilemma. What's a prisoner's dilemma? It's basically people... How do I describe it easily? Okay. Wait. We're doing a prisoner's dilemma explanation real quick. Okay. So the prisoner's dilemma classically is this. So there's two prisoners, right? They robbed a bank. Okay? And so this one's prisoner A, this is prisoner B. Okay? Is Buddha in hell too? I mean, presumably. I don't know. I don't know who's in hell and who's not. That's not for me to know. Anyway. Prisoner A is up here, prisoner B is up here, okay? So, if prisoner A snitches and prisoner B does not snitch, then... Am I doing this wrong? Yeah, then prisoner A gets no years in prison and prisoner B gets 3 years, right? Because they don't have enough evidence to do someone in court. It absolutely works like that. Because it's saying, okay, if I'm part of society, then it's better for me than if I'm not part of society. That's not morals. Well, if it was super poor person that had a million diseases, I wouldn't procreate. Okay, fair play. Okay, so in that case, you think that a certain amount of pleasurable experiences, I suppose, offset, or general life satisfaction offsets the inherent suffering in the universe? But why is suffering bad? Like, suffering is a chemical in atheist perspective, suffering is a chemical in the brain. And so why is this chemical bad and this chemical good? Philosophically. Why does it matter? They're chemicals in brains in a godless universe. Because it's bad? But there's no objective frame of reference. It's just because I feel like it. So calling God immoral doesn't make sense because you're saying, oh, I feel like you're immoral, therefore you're immoral. Or view the universe doesn't care. Right, so you can't give me a argument why I can't, like, murder somebody. The argument would be utilitarian or hedonistic, which is utilitarian again. Kind of. Murder is sin, killing in self-defense is not. So wait, why does God make morality objective? Because he's outside the universe. He's the objective perspective which defines morality. Supernatural, outside of nature. God's very existence defines an objective moral system. It's a bad argument. How is that a bad argument? It's the definition of objective. What does objective mean? Objective means this is happening over here. This is happening over here. Me being objective means I'm outside of it and I'm just looking. And I can see it. Not I'm outside, but I can see it from an outside perspective. I'm objective because I'm not one of the things happening. So the only thing that can define an objective system of ethics for nature is something supernatural, outside of nature. I'm not sure I agree with that, Dom. For there to be an objective moral system, unless it's like evolutionary morals. Right, where it's like moral is something that carries forward your genes or whatever. But even then, it's... I'm not sure. I think it's a lot more complicated than that, Dom. What's a TV show you like? This is relevant. Just work with me. Okay, like Breaking Bad or something. Easy one. Just bear with me. No, I got you. I'll bear with you. Don't spoil Breaking Bad. I'm not gonna. I won't say anything. Nobody say anything. I will not. I can't promise for anyone else though, because you know it's Twitch chat, so someone might because they want to. Just warning. But I'm not going to. Once Breaking Bad is bad, will it be bad to you? Well, I mean, theoretically, yes. Because God defines morality. But this is like the if God told you to punch somebody in the face, would you do it argument. Where it's like, I mean, like, he wouldn't. He won't. That doesn't make sense. We're talking about morality. What are you talking about from a quality perspective? Are you talking like a quality like So the difference God and Satan was what then? Satan's a creation by God, and God isn't, because God's eternal. That's the definition, right? From a very baseline theological perspective. Treg. Yeah, no, you're right, local. You're right, it was Abraham. Yeah, the whole point of the Abraham thing was God making a point saying, what I'm doing is always the right thing, even if it looks like it's the worst possible thing. Well, I mean, yeah. That's the definition of objective. That's the fundamental definition of objective morals. Right? Nairi. Okay, hold on a sec. It's French. I don't know much about the French. This is a weird position. This is why I don't play the French. Bishop e6, e4, rook c8, knight e2, bishop e7, bishop d2, castles, castles. Okay, f6. Now let's stop and take a moment and think a little bit. Okay. So God tells you killing children is good and there's no greater good reason behind it. Go on a live with every child to see, will you do it? But this is what I mean. The problem with that argument. Did my auto shout out command work? Hey, what's up? Carter, we're having a deep discussion on the very fundamental base of ethics. Man, this is a terrible night for this. I'm sick and tired. And I don't mean sick and tired as in like the English phrase sick and tired. I mean, I'm actually sick and I'm actually tired. How was the stream? I mean, f6 looks like it makes sense. What's the better move? I mean, the knight wants to be on e6, kind of. I'm not sure if it... maybe there's like an a6 to go knight here. I don't know. I want to find some way. Maybe the best move is rook e7 to play rook fc8. And then you go knight d8, bishop d7, and knight e6. No, you don't have to stop. It's not that big a deal. I'm just saying it's why I'm a little slower than I usually am. I swear. I can usually keep up better than this. Yeah, I mean, that's fair. Hello, not Evo. I'm guessing it's not Evo, or is it Evo? I mean, that's fair from a personal perspective, local. It's not a convincing, like you said, it's not a debate, logical proof of the existence of God sort of thing, but nice try, Evo. Oh, I was way off. But I mean, it's a personal conviction. It's a personal conviction, right? Okay, so my logic is rook c7, rook fc8, knight d8, bishop d7, knight e6, bishop b5. And just trying to, like, shuffle the pieces into their configuration that they want to be at. You have to type in someone's name. Someone's chess.com name, and I'll give you their elo. This is true. That's why he said it's not a logically sound argument. I'm thinking rook c7. Rook c7, rook c8. Rook f c8. It's objective and can't be objective. Well, I would say in a godless universe, you are correct. In an atheistic universe, assuming atheism, I would agree with you. My elo is bad. I struggle to find a Palemus position. I think this is the plan. Again, I don't play the French. I'm just thinking about pieces, right? So, let's work on this. Piece 1. Knights like being behind these sorts of advanced pawns. Knights do a very good job on squares like this because they attack this and they attack this. It's a good squares. It's a good square for the knight. Additionally, this bishop is depressed here because knights can jump over pieces, so they don't mind being stuck behind a piece. They're okay. Meanwhile, this bishop wants to be on this side where it can actually do things. So this knight and bishop basically want to swap places. Okay? Great. So, my first gut instinct move was knight d8. However, I don't want to play knight d8 in this position because I cut off my rooks. I don't want to cut off my rooks. It is basically a pawn, so we want to swap it for the knight. To find morality. That which is right and wrong. I mean, a system of what's right and wrong. But it's difficult because it ends up being a circular definition. Like all definitions do when you get deep enough. Anyway, so I don't want to cut off my rooks. So if I don't want to cut off my rooks, what do I do with my rooks to prevent them from me cutting off? Okay, this is the only open file in the position. So let's double up on the open file. Double up on the open file. Knight d8, bishop d7, knight d6, bishop b5. Do I define right and wrong? Well, see, the way I would define morality is that which pleases God and that which does not please God. Because like I said, I would say that in a theistic universe, God is the definition of morals. Say y-axis is right or wrong. But I'm saying in a theistic universe, you don't have that problem because you have an objective observer. You have an outside perspective. Okay, that's subjective. It's only subjective if humans are the ones making the definition. Because remember, if you have someone outside of anything, outside of everything, then they're an objective observer, so their statements on what is reality are the objective statements. I want to please God is subjective? That's not what I said, though. I didn't say I want to please God. I said pleasing God is being the definition of right. And assuming God exists, it's objective. Assuming God exists. But again, that assumes God exists. That's not an argument in favor of God existing. That assumes God existing. It's a circular argument, which is why I'm not using that as an argument for God existing. F6 looked good at 98. F6 is tempting. The problem with F6 is you got to be careful because I'm not going to take. And you don't really want to take me because then this will be a passer. And basically, you're making it so this pawn has the potential to become a passer. So F6 is dangerous. Oh yeah, during the game, to move 25, I'll keep track. So yeah, I'm thinking this, and we fix your pieces. So I'm just going to play like engine moves for white. I don't know what the engine moves are. Knight d8. I'm just going to play some move that makes sense. Say bishop d7. It's probably a fine move. Knight f4. Sure. Oh yeah, no, this drops d5. Okay. Okay, knight e4 then. Let's say knight c3. Knight c3. Can I play bishop c6? Not really. I can play queen c6. Queen c6 is crazy. Queen e6. You see, if you define morality as whatever God says it is, you can end up with very morally questionable actions which you claim are moral. Well, how? Okay, so talking purely hypothetically here, purely from a philosophical perspective, how would you end up with that? How can you even say they're morally questionable? How can you how can you call them morally questionable if you don't have an objective standard of what's moral? If morality is subjective, how is genocide morally questionable? That is what I'm asking, yes. Assuming subjective ethics, again, this is going to be terrible out of context, but in context, from a purely philosophical perspective, how it involves mass suffering? But why is suffering bad? Why do we care if it causes suffering? But that's still subjective. It doesn't matter. I can just say, I don't think that, and you don't have any recourse. Because it's coded in our DNA? So why is our DNA important? That's what I mean, Noah. So you had a close enough to right idea. The problem is you kind of played the moves out of order, because now this is an uncomfortable pawn. And he gets a rook on the e-file, and this becomes a very strong square for him. It's a very uncomfortable position. He's won the battle for this square, because by letting him get rid of this pawn... Thank you, Svikdurl. Okay, so first, Slick Eye. Much easier to say. Thank you for the follow. And also second, thank you, SFK Rurdle. So I said you can't argue because your definition of morality is whatever God says minus empathy. Yeah, but my point is that without a supernatural entity existing, you can't argue for objective morality. Which I'm guessing, actually, now that I think about it, you've already said you agreed with that. So I'm not exactly sure what we're arguing about. Yeah, it was very uncomfortable. Yeah, because you've given him this square, basically. Right? One of the main dynamics in chess. And how does it know? And if it does, how do you know it defines morality? Well, if it does, by definition, it defines morality. Ignoring the first question for a moment, assuming it does, then it by definition defines morality because it's the objective being. Well, to some extent you get into the existentialist thing where at some point you take a leap of faith with whatever ideology you believe. And so arguing for the existence of God is a much more complicated thing. Still working on it. I'm still fleshing out my exact belief systems. Now, I can give you a lot of personal reasons, but logical reasons is a subject that I'm still learning myself. I'm 22. I'm not a theologian. I'm not in Bible school. I'm an economist. So I can give you personal reasons, but I am not currently learned enough to give you non-personal reasons. I would say Protestant Christianity. I don't like a lot of Protestant Christianity in the U.S. though, so it's difficult for me to say that because I get bundled with a lot of people who I don't really agree with. Thank you, Nor. I appreciate it. So, oh my god, sleep. Okay, then sleep. I'm live like 3 times a week, so. And normally I can keep up with chat better than I can tonight. Tonight I'm struggling. Oh, thank you so much. Normally I can keep up better. I struggle because I'm sick and I'm recovering from exams. E4? What about E4? How do you join Q? You type exclam join normally. However, my Q's broken, so you just say you're joining Q and you're second in line. I'm doing this one, then another game, and then it'll be you. Isabella. Bye, Nora. Pleasure having you in chat. So my point is, if a supernatural entity exists, it defines morality by it defines objective morality by definition, because it's the only objective thing. I normally have a Q-bot. Stream is scuffed. I'm telling you, we're in pain. I'm having technical issues out the wazoo. It's fun. It's a party. Anyway, But again, that's assuming God exists. It's not an argument for God existing. It's assuming. Okay, yeah. So, one of the main dynamics in chess is squares, right? This square is incredibly powerful, and white's the only one who can win the battle for it, because white has 3 minor pieces that can attack dark squares. Black only has 2. This bishop fundamentally cannot take place in the fight for this square. Therefore, white is winning the fight for this square. Is it subjective definition? No, it's not, because it's defined by a supernatural entity. Because I'm not defining it, the supernatural entity is defining it. Again, assuming God is real, and I'm aware of his intentions, which again, huge assumption, obviously, then I'm not, the supernatural entity is. Which is why what they're saying is the objective thing. Which I'm talking supernatural in the very philosophical definition of the word, that being outside of nature, not like ghosts. Define objective. Not influenced by personal feelings or opinions. Not dependent on the mind for existence. Actual, the thing that actually exists. Similar to truth, where the definition is that which matches reality. We don't have a full view of reality because of our limited perspective, so we can't say what's objective. An omnipotent God has a full view of reality and therefore can say what's objective, because he's the only one who sees everything. As one of the reasons. What if there are more than one supernatural entities and they all disagree with each other? Well, then it's subjective for them. Like, they're of a tier above, so if they argue, then for them it's subjective. What if God is not good? Well, it's difficult because how would you define good in a way that makes God not good? That's the entire argument. That's how we started this, is because I could not think of a name said that from his perspective, God was immoral. And I said, how can you say God is immoral? That doesn't make sense. Like, you're using your subjective perspective to overwrite the objective perspective. Yeah, rook takes makes a lot more sense to me because you're not doubling your pawns. Your pawn structure is very important. And also, this rook coming to g6 at some point isn't the worst of things. Bringing the rook in front of the pawns, going for a rook lift, also is kind of a way of pushing for a win. Doubling your pawns there is a little too optimistic. Any other forms of Christianity or any other faith? Well, I mean... So, the problem is, any answer I give is going to boil down incredibly quickly to a definitions game, because, like I said, I'm not learned enough to give real, very, what's what I'm looking for? Logically based arguments for my faith. If we assume it exists. Give me a second, I'm thinking. I am treating it as a subjective claim. Because it is. The sun existing is only objective if it's defined by a being that's capable of being objective. So the problem is, again, objectivity. If I say sun doesn't objectively exist, that sounds stupid. But that's because it's two different definitions of the word objective. It's objective in the sense of outside of one human's perspective, we know it exists, and it's objective in outside of the human perspective, we know it exists. The sun existing is not technically objective because we could all be in a simulation. So the sun existing is not objective until it's confirmed by an objective being. And then it's objective. So, like, I would say that the sun existing is objective because I have it. The source is an objective being. So I said if it exists. No, I'm agreeing with you. So, Saitos, or Kaitos, I'm assuming it's an S because it's a C. Because our eyes aren't objective. I would say, see, truth is defined as a statement which matches reality. And so, from everything I've experienced in my life, Protestant Christianity best matches reality, and therefore it is true. Now, the problem is, that gets into so many different... That asks more questions than it answers. Which is why I'm saying, that's not a question I have the knowledge built up yet to fully answer. Have you read every religious text? Not fully. I've read a good chunk of the Quran. Obviously, I've read the Bible. I haven't read the Book of Mormon, so... How can morality be observed? By a supernatural being. That's my point. Is there a molecule morality? No, but morality is defined. That's what I'm saying. We can define morality as subjective because we're only capable of subjectivity. A supernatural being looking in could define morality objectively because they're the being with an objective perspective. So again, it's defined by a being. That's the point. That's morality, right? It's defined by a being. Isn't a coder in his mom's basement just go to simulation reality? Well, I mean, technically you don't. But that's like what I said, where you go into the existentialist arguments of faith. At the very least. Again, I'm an economist. I don't know all this stuff. I'm working through it myself. I am not the ultimate representation of the perfect arguments in favor of Christianity. I should look. That's a good point. Okay, hold on a second. So yeah, your way of moving these pieces in this game was fundamentally mistaken because you gave him free access to the square. And now he played incorrectly as well because he didn't go for the square. Now this isn't terrible because you opening your king is bad and you taking with rook still lets him have free access to the square because he's just traded off a piece that attacks the square for a piece that attacks the square, so he's still 2 for 1, right? Stein. This is also just a long-term weakness that will make you suffer in every endgame. So even if we're ignoring the attacking problems that come with having this sort of pawn structure and open file towards your king, these are also an endgame weakness. This can only be a bad thing in the endgame. It's not a subjective statement, it's an objective statement. Yeah. So we can't say the sun exists. Which I would say philosophically it tracks. Subjective claim? No, it's a claim. Like any other claim. It's just a claim that's defined by the person. It's like defining anything else. A very stupid, very, very stupid metaphor. However, how do we define what a word means? In theory, you can do it from like what people are said to, but you can also take the central objective definition from a dictionary, right? As being that's what the word means. When you say we use a word correctly or incorrectly, right? The word is defined by a being. However, its meaning is defined by an objective being. Can only be objectively defined by an objective being. Otherwise, we're making subjective definitions. So, for example, our approach to language is a purely subjective one because we can't make objective definitions. If faith is subjective in itself? Yeah. That's why I don't hold other people to my ethical standards. That's why I don't get upset when someone else when someone else doesn't agree with my ethical standards, because that's stupid. I believe it, but now I'll try to explain to others why I believe it, but like, that's why I don't agree with Christians in the US who get angry and violent at people who don't believe the same thing. It's stupid. Yeah, but I would say that's like completely like irrational on your part. And not just irrational, but also impossible. Like it doesn't make sense even. Because from a philosophical perspective, you're like on a lower plane of existence. You don't have the existential right. Because you're not objective. You don't know anything. You don't know everything in the same way an omnipotent God knows everything. Your usage of the word dog would be wrong in that case. Or the word man would be wrong in that case. Because you, someone who doesn't know everything, was told by someone who does know everything that it was wrong. Hello, Levy. What I'm referring to as dog? No, what you're referring to is a human. You think you're referring to dog, but that's objectively incorrect. Now that would be the day. Because I do pronounce it GIF. Because I think it's more fun. And also that's what the creator says. Yeah, that one doesn't matter, but... Oh, I hate this. Okay, give me some. I understand your argument. Yeah, I mean, it's a fundamental disagreement. I don't think we're going to come to a consensus here. Which, I mean, that's fine. That's normally how things end up, right? You end up getting to the core disagreement, right? The thing, the kind of baseline, base level, what is this? Like axiom that we don't share, right? And like anything else, if you don't share an axiom, you're not going to have the same mathematical system, and no amount of arithmetic is going to prove it one way or another. That's pretty funny, Saito. I like it. Wait, why is the queue working for you, Levy? That's been working all day. Oh gosh. Non-deterministic Twitch chat. Exactly. I have not, Levy. I haven't. I honestly, it's been like a few weeks since I've kept up with Gen Alpha Speak. Gen Alpha Speak. It doesn't like Gen as in generation. Judgment Day. Oh no, it keeps getting worse. In Queen Trade, they had a minute and I had 10 minutes. Oh, yeah. Oh, I think you mentioned that happening in one of your games earlier. So yeah, you created in this game, I feel like the big problem is you're too willing to give up long-term weaknesses for nothing. This square is a long-term weakness. These doubled pawns are a long-term weakness. And you must have overwhelming short-term anything to justify creating a long-term weakness. Like, you better have a real convincing argument to give yourself this pawn structure. Because your pawn structure now is miserable. And it's going to make you suffer in every endgame. So unless you have a real good justification, you shouldn't be giving yourself long-term weaknesses like this. Same with f6. f6 must be like an insanely amazing move in order to justify giving yourself a long-term weakness of the open e5 square, right? That's the thing. These static weaknesses aren't going to go anywhere. Assuming your opponent is a grandmaster, which he's not. Again, of course, your opponent let off the pressure. I'm not even saying I would keep up the pressure perfectly, but philosophically, these long-term weaknesses, you're going to suffer because of them. And you're giving them up too quickly. And look, it's +3 now. Even though material is equal, it's +3. Because you've just got such a terrible pawn structure and such terrible pieces. Just a second. I'm closing queue. Everyone already in queue will get to play. I just can't let anyone else join because, like, there's already too many people, and I usually try to stop streaming like 7 minutes from now, but we have too many people in queue, so I forgot to close queue. Let me just fix that. I always forget something, man. That's what I think. Yeah, but if the purpose of language is communication, then you speaking what you mean rather than what the entire universe works with is wrong. If I start using the word man to refer to dogs, I would be wrong because I am fundamentally working against the universe. Now, the problem with that is language at that point is defined by humans. And so if you have enough humans, then they get outnumbered. And so at that point you end up with a, you end up flopping over, right? The thing is you can't outnumber God. That's the argument. You can't outnumber an omnipotent being. Yeah, that's why I said the language definition isn't perfect. The language metaphor isn't perfect. But you would still need to outnumber everyone else in your language. If you could create your own universe, then you could define the ethical system and moral system in your universe. Of course, you just can't make your own universe. But if you could, then you could define the ethics within it completely. Naturally. Which would be the equivalent to creating your own dialect, but you can't. Why did Eve eat the apple? Terrible. Just horrible. Anyway. No, but see, this is why the language metaphor is imperfect, is because language is decided by number of people. You can't outnumber God from a... You can't will things into existence in the universe because you outnumber God. Right? That's the thing. That's why the language... That's where the language metaphor breaks down. You can't say, oh, 51% of humans think gravity doesn't exist, so gravity doesn't exist anymore, right? Because it's a constant of the universe. Now, if you could create your own universe, then you could make gravity whatever it is. There, not there, whatever. Just you being my main hobby, but it gets to a point where everyone is worse, either worse or better. Well, I mean, that's like kind of how it always is from day one. Okay, hold on a second. Okay, so you're rotating the knight to e7. Why is the knight going to e7? Why doesn't it go here? He was wrong. Yeah, but the whole point, the argument here is that you know that the word man means a human, not a dog. You just decide to use the other word anyway. And so you understand him. You're just deciding not to do it out of rebellion, which is what the definition of sin is, right? It's the same thing with morals. It's not a failure because you do understand it. You're just deciding to use a different thing out of sheer rebellion, right? Which is what sin is. That's like the definition. So you can say, oh, I'm just going to use my own ethical system. But it's rebellion against the only objective being in the outside the universe, because he's not even in the universe. And so, like, yeah, that doesn't make philosophical sense. Like, it's it doesn't make sense. It's not, in my opinion, I would not think that a rational decision. Now, ultimately, free will, you get to decide to do that if you want, and that's kind of the point. You do get to decide to do that. I think it's a pretty short-sighted decision, but No, because it's not insufficient material. There is insufficient material means there's not enough material to theoretically deliver checkmate. So if he has enough material to deliver checkmate, it's not insufficient material. Knight versus pawn is technically not insufficient material. So according to the FIDE rules of chess, timeout would still be a win for the person who didn't time out. Objective being? What do you mean, why? It doesn't... Because you are fundamentally, existentially, of a lower caste. I mean, caste is not even the right way of putting it. Because you exist within nature. God does not. I mean... The best tournament of my life got ranked 1800, beat the sweatiest player in school. Or sweatiest school? Ah, that's it. Decide what I do. My mom doesn't decide what I do. Because your mom and you are both humans. That's the whole point. That's why your mom doesn't get to decide what you do. Yes, Stein. And see, Stein, I'm a little worse at explaining than normally because I'm sick. Queen e3, rook f8. Knight of 3. Knight of 3, bishop f7. What? I don't like the knight on g8 at all. I don't think so either. But I don't think either one of us is attempting to convince the other person of anything at this point. Wrong in there, right? Well, yeah, of course. That's not the same morality. Why not? What's the difference? What makes morality not a thing? What makes morality different? Definition of morality? No, what makes anything different? Not even morality. What makes literally anything different? What makes anything that exists different? Like anything that exists, at a conceptual level different. You gonna be lurking? Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't agree with the knight on g8 at all. It's just such a passive piece. It's doing a good defensive job, but it'd be doing the equally good defensive job on g6. Genius. It's subjective. But that's your incorrect definition. That's my point. That's your definition, which is not which is not verified by objective being. Well, my definition of morality is defined by what God defines as moral and immoral. That's kind of the point. That's the problem, right? Yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to take something strong and swap perspectives. I am a little thirsty. Yeah, so knight g6. Knight g6 is just more active. And if he takes, you celebrate. Because he's fixed your pawn structure. Yay! Hydrate. Again, knight g8 is just very passive. Hey, listen here. Rook e7, knight e5, rook g7, 3, rook f8. Even rook f8 I disagree with. What does rook f8 accomplish? So you think that empathy doesn't matter? No, I don't think it defines morality. It matters. Because I would say empathy is part of what... How do I word this? My wording is probably going to be incorrect. more empathy is like our vision of the sun, where it doesn't define it, but it gives us our perspective of it, right? So not that empathy doesn't matter. It's not meaningless, it's not pointless, it's incomplete. That's what I'm trying to say. Empathy is incomplete. Yeah, Rook F8 here is just less active. Again, piece activity is so important. Rook F8 doesn't... The Rook is not better on F8 than it was on C8. The F7 square is not a weakness currently. It's triple defended. And attacked once. Extension of constant morality. Well, I wouldn't say it's an extension of it. But, like, it's a facet of it. It's kind of a... Like I said. It's one of our subjective lenses into something objective that we cannot fully... That we cannot be 100% sure that we're fully seeing. For lack of a better word. For lack of more precise language. So I don't think, yeah, so knight, f7's adequately guarded, so overguarding the bishop's more important at this point. And also maybe preparing something like this in the future. If possible. It's not, but if it is. And bishop f7, again, so if we look, the rook on e8, if he plays knight f6, then you get, I mean, now you get bishop d7, so he can't move the knight, actually. Hey, that's sick. Very move would be brilliant because the knight's hanging. Probably, I don't know. Well, I mean, yeah, no, for sure. But looking at why they could have been better is part of what makes it interesting. Bishop f7, queen d3, queen g4, bishop g3, f4, h3, queen h5, bishop takes f4, queen takes h3. Ooh. Knight g5, though. I guess this isn't even that bad for you. I mean, white's better. But see, this is what I meant before, right? I'm not sure I'd call it a Christian stream. Anyway, this is what I was talking about before. This is a long-term weakness. It's very annoying. You having to deal with this is a pain. And that's because you gave him these abilities to create these long-term weaknesses earlier. Is this holdable? Yes. Is it easy to hold? Not remotely. Genius. Where's the knight going? What the knight doing? Probably e7 to c6. Oh no, even that's not possible. Honestly, probably rook e7. Rook e7 first to gain control over the open file, or one of the open files, and then like rook d7. I mean, it's a painful position. It's a miserable position to play as the black pieces, but it's technically holding, which is why I'm saying these long-term weaknesses aren't something you want to create, because then you have to deal with this. No, the bishop d6 skewer does not work, because bishop d6, rook takes d1. Check. Whoops. Oh, okay. I read the message before I read who sends it. So sometimes I think someone being sarcastic is just like a 200 elo player making a legitimate observation. And so I try to treat it as a legitimate observation. Anyway. d3. Ooh. Okay, h7. Okay, good. Queen g4, king h7, king h7, bishop g3. Yeah, it's just our common name is different than their Twitch name. Queen f3. And see, now the shoe is on the other foot. He has given himself long-term weaknesses, and you fixed yours. So the exact thing I've been yelling at you for doing this entire game, he just did to himself. Wait, why was that brilliant? Because you can't take the bishop. Because if you take the bishop, you lose your queen. Yeah, queen trade's just bad. And see, now your opponent's in the same position you were. It's holding, but it's miserable. Okay, I don't like this move. So, if you want a really easy move to play in this position, a6. Very easy move that improves your position. Remember, bishop endgames, you want your pawns on the opposite color of your opponent's bishop. He has a dark squared bishop, you want your pawns on light squares. That being said, there's also an argument to play g4 here just to restrict this bishop's movement, which might be backwards, right, when we'll stream it, when I finish playing all the people in queue. Who knows how long that'll take. There's also an argument for g5 to suppress the bishop, but to me the simplest move is either rook c8 gaining control of an open file, or a6. a6 is what I would play because it's a very simple human move to play where it's just like, okay, make this bishop slightly worse. Rook d7, it doesn't improve your position. This bishop is better on either one of these squares where it's on an open file, right? Or you can improve your position by suppressing his bishop, or you can improve your position by getting a pawn off of a dark square. Okay, yeah, that's the last move. So rook d7 does not improve your position. Your position is not better after... Actually, it's worse after rook e7 because now you can't play rook c7. So I don't like this move. I disagree with it. Anyway, interesting game, though. The French, man. But yeah. So, in my opinion, the biggest problem with this game, from your perspective, is that you were way too willing to give up long-term weaknesses. Every time you're about to give up a long-term weakness, a square, doubled pawns, something along those lines, you should be thinking, okay, wait, why am I doing this? What am I getting in return? That makes sense. Bishop later on got stuck behind a pawn chain. We'll take it. None of my commands work. Egg. It's your turn. Oh, yep. Nope, you're next. You're after egg. No, I remember. You're after egg, and then it's you. You're between egg and Levy. I remember. Which, is egg still here? I don't think so. I think egg went to bed. In which case, it's now your turn. What's your chess.com name? So, you can either play me in like an unrated 10-0 game, or you can send me a game to analyze. Your choice. Or you can do a faster time control if you want. I just get worse as the time controls get faster, so I do 10-0. Because, you know, I'm not trying to publicly embarrass myself. It just happens. This game was against a little kid. It's such a chess experience when you're stressing over a game, but your 7-year-old opponent just casually chewing his pen and staring at the ceiling. It's so funny. Wonderful. Is we down to play 10-second chess? I can guarantee you I would lose, but if you want to, I'll do it. I don't care. It's your turn. It's terrible. I would hate it. But like, okay. Again, we play unrated anyway, so it doesn't, it's like no skin off my back, you know? Play a nightmare game? No. Again, I do variants. Actually, recently, I started now on Saturdays, we play Chess 960. Because I think Chess 960 is the future. So I'm trying to get better at it. And also, I feel like if I can corner the market on Chess 960, it'll be big ups. 30-second chess arenas. Insane. If I want to beat someone better than me at chess, I just challenge them in 10 seconds because it's more about sneaky tricks and mouse speed than actual chess. Oh, for sure. It absolutely is. I mean, I always say that Bullet is not chess. It's a game that shares some resemblance to chess. And I don't even necessarily mean that as an insult. It's not a bad game. It's just, like, not chess. Hey, you don't have to mention 25 losses. We don't need to know. Just say you beat FM Canty. I almost beat Gotham Chess. Then I would be able to do the same thing, but unfortunately, skill issue. Very nice. If I were to play Magnus, I would definitely win. Oh, for sure. The only reason you've never played Magnus is because he's scared. Yeah. Someone in chat accused me of cheating, and Gotham's like, nah. I drew once and lost twice. Hey, it's not that bad. Exactly, bro. I know. I'm seeing what you're saying. And the draw was a pretty draw. Pity draw. Hey, I don't pity draw. I only draw in drawn positions. Only in the most drawn of positions do I draw. If I were going to cheat, you're only seeing me from like here down. So like I could just like have like an iPad sitting in my lap. I mean, no one would ever do that because it's a super obvious way of cheating, right? It would never happen. Like no one would ever even try. Not, especially not against someone as strong as like Wesley So. It would never happen. Not in like an official 4money tournament, like a team chess event, where like all eyes are on you because you're like streaming while you're playing it, and you have commentators watching, you know? You would never do that. On Roblox chess just goof around. There have been many times I get accused of cheating. Oh, that's the cruelest thing. Like when you go into these random games that have chess as a sub game within them, and then you play chess against somebody. It's not. It feels wrong. It feels like bullying. You know. It feels like walking into a kindergarten where they're playing like soccer or something, or football, and then just like punting the toddlers. You know what I mean? Okay, so let's see what happened. So far, so good. I said punt the kids. I said that. Don't tell me about punting children. I already know, okay? Don't use my own spells against me. Why do you think I'm 6'2"? For optimal child puntage. Or in real units, that's like, what, I'm 187, I think. Forgot about the bishop. You know what? Fair enough. I respect it. This is a position that roughly resembles the Sicilian dragon. And one of the big points of the dragon is how strong this bishop is. My entire game plan revolves around making this bishop as strong as possible. No, I love when that happens too. You see, you never worry about the people who brag about their elo. You worry about the people who don't. See, I'm only half American, right? So I can flex either way. I can go either way. Trying to take the best of both sides. Speed limits are a social construct. Real. Okay, hold on a second. What do you have in this position? What's the move here? Oh, yeah. No, this is annoying. Basically the Dunning-Kruger effect, no? It's a similar sort of thing. Similar sort of vibe. Yeah, you can do this and my d6 pawn falls. So that's the one problem. And I sometimes mess this up. In this line, when I play an early e6 to make sure f4, f5 isn't as scary, sometimes I can get this pawn captured because there's like an early bishop f4 or like a knight b5 or something. And what country would that be? Or... Exactly, yeah. Antarctica. Ah, based. Yeah, I'm telling you. People brag about their elos. The max, the highest rated person I've seen brag about their elo was like 1700. And then everyone I've played who's stronger than that has not bragged about their elo. Like, ever. Like, stinking grandmasters don't brag about their elo. Because they never know when, like, Hikaru's making a YouTube video and they're going to get farmed for content. Right? German Autobahn. Oh, yeah. That makes sense. I mean, your name looked German, but, I mean, it's Twitch. It's the internet. You never know. Turns out local Koopa is not actually a Koopa. Going 85 to 30 in Antarctica. I would assume it's the Antarctica police. I feel like there's no reason to brag about your elo. I agree. Queen b6. Okay. So, you have to think about game plans, right? In the Sicilian Dragon, when I play this sort of structure, my plan is I want to make this bishop as strong as possible. That's why I don't push this pawn all the way forward. My pawn's only on e6 because I want to make this bishop strong and I want to push this pawn d5. That way I have this kind of synergy where my pawns don't block my bishop. My entire plan is this bishop. My heart and soul is this bishop. So, that means that castling away into the bishop is dangerous. It's not bad. You can do it, and in the main line, that's actually what you do. So it's very common. However, it's dangerous because it means we're both gunning right for each other, you know? You're going to be throwing pawns at me. I'm going to be throwing pawns at you. Whoever throws pawns at their opponents faster wins. It's very violent. Now, in this position, you can also just castle. And I'm probably still going to play bishop a6. And then you can play, like, rook e1. And it's not nearly as violent. The position is a lot calmer. Because suddenly, we're castling the same direction, and we're not throwing pawns at each other. We're playing for the center. Right? And it's not super clear. There's some things to fight for on both sides. Whatever, it's chess. I mean, you have some players who are innovating strategically, though, Krios. Like, for example, Irina Crush tried the pitcher gambit, where you throw your king at your opponent. Now, unfortunately, I think she blundered, and so it didn't quite work out the way she wanted. But you know, you gotta try. So bishop d2 is bad because you're delaying castling for too long. You want to castle as soon as possible. Now, I'm not castling because I'm dumb, and you could have punished me for it. So don't do as I say, not as I do. It's a good idea to do captured pieces. No, she didn't even capture it. She lost. She lost, and so she threw her king at the opponent. Like, oh, you want my king so bad? Right? The Ragey Gambit. I think let me see if I remember this right. This is like 2017. This is old news. Oh no, it was long before that. It was 2008. Oh no, she missed. See, she missed her opponent. That's why it was. Yeah, she hit a bystander. Yeah, no. See, that's the problem. She played the gambit, but, she blundered. She hit a bystander. Okay, look. This is very important. This is important for chess history. This is chess culture. Listen. This is chess culture, guys. See, look, hit the lady in the leg. Thank you for the follow. Oh, Wunder. Voted history. I'm telling you, I'm not making stuff up. I don't make stuff up. I'm completely 100% accurate. I know exactly what I'm talking about. Oh gosh. So yeah, that's the problem. She tried the gambit, but she missed and hit a bystander. So it failed, and so she lost the game. Okay, anyway, so you spent too much time not castling in an position with an open board, and so now you have to castle long, which means I know exactly what you're going to do, so I can, like, throw pieces at you. This is kind of a dirty move. I was hoping you would take so I can mate you. And then the bishop got you. So, in these sorts of positions where your opponent has a fianchetto and is playing for it like this and doesn't put a pawn in front of it, you gotta be super careful, man. Super careful. Okay, wait, who's next? I think Levy was next. Yeah. No, Gene, I like this. They would have to be triple weighted pieces, though, because drawing blood with any other type of piece would be really hard. How do I play you? Chess.com name. Holler. Thanks for the advice. I'm not here. Sorry. See, you confused me. You have Bro and you have Isabella. Isabella sounds feminine. Bro sounds masculine. I don't know what to do. Now, I should probably be using they, them pronouns. However, I get confused there too because in my second language, he, him, and they, and it pronouns are the same. So I instinctively also use he pronouns for it sometimes, which is very bad. I should not do that. But alack, I do. I don't know, you're just friendly. You want to say hi to people. Bro is a bell. Exactly. See, you know what I mean? Like, bro is a bell and then a scream. Because I know if I were a bell, I would be screaming. Bro is a bell. See my point? It's getting late. I'm getting loopy. More loopy than I already was. Okay. Okay. Let's see how our boy Levy does. Okay. I don't know this opening. I can tell. He's typing in the chess.com chat, so I'm responding to that when I'm going to be reading his messages out loud. See, it's nice. I only have chess club like twice a week, and so I only get a chance to bully children like twice a week. It's not nearly enough. Or like bully, you know, lower elo chess players. It's not enough. Feel so bad for you? I know. I'm a martyr. For the shirt? Oh, well, this is a very boring shirt. Usually I wear more exciting shirts, and so showing the shirt is actually something we're doing. So I normally do this, and I show whatever graphic is on my shirt, but I wore a very boring shirt because I forgot to wear a more interesting shirt. Very sorry. Yeah, we have some variety. We have some variety. Okay, let's see what we got here. I'm gonna just do this. Keep it simple. Tamagotchi behavior. You know, I also got like flex. Although someone also recommended that flex be like I show something off cool that I have or do. Which I'm okay with doing that as well, but I don't know. Let me cook. See, this is the problem with playing this opening if you don't know, if you're not sure how to exactly do it. Because you end up in a position where one color has a bit of a developmental lead. Hitting people with a Knight G6 discovered fork feels good. Yeah, it does. Unfortunately, it doesn't happen very often. What you gonna do? Okay, I got a plan. What is my plan? This feels mean. How are you now, Jim Bro? Interesting. Fellas? Fellas, I'm cooking. Yes. That is what that is. You are correct. I love when I get to play like this. It's such a violent way of playing chess. It's so barbaric. Me or Jimbro? Your soul will not be spared. I hope you realize that, Debbie. All of my pieces are insanely active. I also could have, like, I mean, just is just. Oh, give me a second. I love playing chess like this. Insanely active pieces. Crazy active pieces. Hey, at least you died with style. Oh. Yeah, this is a very difficult opening to play if you don't know how to play. What opening was this? This was technically a ready that transposed into a Chigorin. But you shouldn't play the Chigorin if you don't know the Chigorin. Like, this is already very bad for black. This is like plus 1.5, +2. This is very, very bad. I recommend against knight f3 playing knight f6. Knight Levy. This knight c6 stuff, it just gives you problems. Like in this position, knight f6. You want to push the c pawn a lot of times. Leave your c pawn free, at least for now. And if you're going to do this, you have to at least either play e6 or bishop g4. Those are the two lines. Bishop g4 is more complicated. E6 is more standard. Either way, taking is not good, and playing this knight move isn't good. Because then, look at this. I've got the full center. I've got everything. And suddenly my pieces leap into action. Look at everything. All of my pieces so naturally develop. And it's much harder to play black here than it is to play white. Look at this position. Everything is active. Everything is off its back rank and aimed right at your king. And I've got full central control, so you can't even like do the same with your pieces. Night, Jim, bro. Sleep well. Everything is ready. The only thing that's not active is like a rook or something. King's not off the back rank. I can solve that now. Knight bd7, knight c6, king c8, e5. And see, I'm not even sure this was best. I don't know what was best in this position, I'm going to be honest. The computer's saying h3 is best, which is the computer being the computer. The typical computer. It's just like, oh yes, clearly this is the best line. Which this is also barbaric. Again, this is just savagery at this point. How is black supposed to counter? Don't let me do this. Sounds stupid, but don't let me take the full center like this with tempo. Because now I push your pieces out of the center and capture it fully for myself while being able to develop my pieces naturally. So, you need to support this pawn with another pawn. If knight f6, c4, same thing. You support it with another pawn. c6 is also a move here. That way, if I take, you can take back with pawn, and I don't get to play e4 with tempo. It's not a good thing to let me do. Because another thing that where you get into the same sort of positions is if, let's say, in this position he took. What do you play against c6? It changes depending on my mood. I don't have like a set in stone theory. They brought both knights immediately. And the same thing happens here if you take. I get to play d5. And now you have to move your knight back. And I get to play e4. Right? This is a little different, but it's still not very good. You shouldn't let me do this. You should not let me get this full center without a ton of compensation. And I can just win this pawn back immediately. You shouldn't let me do this. There are very, very few examples where letting your opponent get that big center with a bunch of tempi and forcing all your pieces backwards is a good thing. Very, very few examples. And this is not one of them. So getting this huge center and getting all this piece activity, suddenly this is +2. This is already winning for white and materials equal. And it only gets worse. Because now you have to play like knight bd7. And everything just doesn't work. So would the Caro-Connor French work? Yes. Again, just the point is not letting me take everything with tempo. And with tempo means I play it and now you have to react and move something backwards. So the difference is if I play e4 here, it comes with tempo because now you have to move the knight. So it's basically a free move. I'm not spending a move. You have to react, so I get to play 2 moves in a row. Because normally if I played e4 here, let's say in this position, I play like h3, move back, and now I play e4. Now you can like play like e5 yourself, or like e6 or something. And like prevent me from getting the full center as big, right? But because I'm playing e4 immediately, and you have to react, now I can play another forward move. And I just get to keep like snowballing this momentum. Yeah, but it depends. This is one of the times where you can absolutely extend your pawns. These pawns are not overextended. You can't do anything as black. Like, e5 is a completely reasonable move in this position. Just because everything's happening with tempo and it's forcing all the pieces backwards. That's another key thing. The pieces must go backwards. It's different if the pieces could come forward. If this knight wasn't here, then it's a little different because the knight can come to e5. Maybe in some positions the bishop's already out, so you can play knight d4. That's a little bit of a different position. Or if like the pawn's already here and you can play knight e4 or something. It's different. However, in this position, the knight must go backwards, because if it comes forwards, then I play check and I win your knight. So I'm forcing everything backwards. Same in this position. You can't play this, because I just play d5 and then same tactic. I play check and win your knight. So, your pieces must go backwards, which is another key part. So I'm forcing the pieces backwards while taking central space. Without spending any time. So I get to basically play like 4 moves in a row. How long have you been playing chess for? Like 6 years. Although I've had a very slow chess journey. You can get where I am much faster than I did. And so, see, every move I play brings a new piece into the party, right? This knight comes into the party. Now my queen comes into the party with tempo. Now this one isn't with tempo because I have to defend the pawn. So I defend the pawn with developing a piece. This piece comes out with tempo because you have to think about this pawn. Now, turns out best move is just let me take it because you play rook b8 and it's fine. But now you have to think about it. So it's like kind of with tempo. And then knight e5. I'm attacking the bishop. I've got some goofy threats coming in. Bishop f4, defending the knight with another piece. I'm not moving the knight backwards. I'm not playing f4. I am bringing another piece into the party. I'm also a chess coach, and I've been trying to learn to teach chess for like 2 years. I've been practicing. I'm not amazing at it yet, but I'm getting there. Also, I've hit 2200 before. I've just had a really bad streak for the past like month. Anyway. Bishop f4, queen d8, bishop b5 check, knight bd7. And see, now you're in the position where I have so much forward momentum and I have so much space that your pieces are now tripping over each other. Do you make bank from coaching as just a community thing? For me, it's a community thing for now. I hope to make it a bank thing in the future. But for now, it's community. So you're actually better than me? I don't know, maybe. You know, Lasker says, how you test the strength of a chess player is the strength of their next move, right? So, I don't think Elos tell the full picture. Anyway, so now your pieces are tripping over each other. The bishop can't get back in because of the knight. The knight's blocking the queen's natural squares. The bishop can't get out. All your pieces are tripping over each other. And then e5 is just even more barbaric. It's not the best way of playing, but it's just force more pieces backwards. Now the knight also has to go backwards. Another piece backwards. I'm pushing forward and undeveloping your pieces. And then e6, I just thought this was pretty. I just enjoyed this from a aesthetic perspective. Which is why I play it this way. It's very thematic for me. Because it forces another piece backwards, right? And now I could have just taken this and then like taken your queen. It's a semi-accurate, it's an accurate estimate of someone's average strength while playing rated games within the rating pool, right? So if someone plays stronger in person than online, or if someone doesn't pay full attention while playing online, it can sometimes be less than accurate. It's useful, but I wouldn't put everything on it. For example, someone having most of their free time late at night, and so they only play chess late at night, ELO won't be an accurate representation of their strength because they only play at a time when their strength is lower than it would be on average. Again, useful? Yes. Best we've got? Yes. Perfect? No. 95. ELO is a win prediction. It's not even really a strength guesser. It's a win predictor. Then 95. Queen takes g2. You could have castled long, which is actually kind of pretty, but it's... You're in so much trouble. You're so suffering in this position. It's like I'm up a full rook and 2 pawns and still have the development lead. And you can't even really take my knight, because then I cast a long with check and bring another piece into the game. This position's a struggle. This is a struggle. And so queen takes g2. It does allow a faster checkmate, but it's so hard to do anything. There's so much force. Again, positions like this are very easy to play as white because you just keep moving forward. You have so much momentum. You have so much development. You have everything. And so you just keep going forward and forward and forward and forward and forward. You know, it's just what move brings a piece forward and also attacks a piece. And then you play that move, right? The position plays itself. That's why knowing your opening principles is so important. Knowing that this is bad, right? Because that's one of the great tragedies of bad positions in chess, is often bad positions aren't just bad, they're also hard to play. I'm playing black more than white. That makes sense. There's a saying in chess that goes, while white makes the first move, black chooses the opening. Right? And so that sort of control that black has over the kind of nature of the game, the kind of feel of the game, makes us that it can make sense that you can enjoy playing black. I was like that for a while. Because I didn't have an opening I really liked for white, so I enjoyed playing my dragon, and at the time I played like King's Indian and Slav as black against d4, and so I enjoyed playing black more. Nowadays I like them both. I would probably say I like white slightly more, but... Which means it's Saitos' turn. Because the other 2 people, 6 people in line, list 3 people, 2 of them are already played. The queue is completely destroyed. Yeah, again, it makes sense. Because the difference, what's the word I'm looking for? The evaluation difference between white and black is like a third of a pawn, a fifth of a pawn. You're not going to be able to take advantage of that as anyone less than Magnus Carlsen. So what matters more is comfort. Even Fabiano Caruana, second best chess player in the planet, probably, said he would rather play a slightly worse position than an equal position when his opponent has engine prep. And if a super grandmaster 2800 player would rather play a slightly worse position than an uncomfortable position, imagine what it's like for us schmucks. You know? I wanted a Nimzovich or Nimzo Indian for black, but it seems difficult. Thanks for reaching the Nimzo Indian, though. No problem. The Nimzo is rough. The Nimzo is difficult. However, it's also a very fun opening. I know a guy who plays the Nimzovich. There's a lot to play there. There's a lot to love. Okay. Bro is playing the England. Gotta respect it. Okay. D5 is such a bad move. Okay. Like, it's not even a good way of declining gambit. E4. E6. Knight C3. F5. So far, so good. Takes knight F6, right? Oh no, you could take first because you have bishop G6. Yeah, this makes sense. This is just very nice for black. Like Caro-Kann? Not really. It's the Caro-Kann C6. Right, this is D6. It's like a reverse French. Or like a really good perk. No, it's like a really good Fildor. It's like a Fildor, but black has solved his problems. It's a drunk Fildor. Because this bishop is here in the Fildor, and it's the biggest problem in black's position. So it's like a Fildor where black has already teleported the bishop outside his pawn chain and is now winning. He's not winning, it's equal, but you know. Okay. Bishop G6, sure. Queen G4. Queen F6. Okay, I don't care for Queen F6. So what's the threat? The threat is Queen E6 check. bigger question. Am I threatened? No. Knight f6. Okay, you play queen e6 check. Big deal. Queen e7. What are you going to do? Or actually, king f8. King f8's very silly, but you can probably get away with it. Your opponent has 0 development. What's he going to attack you with? What's he going to checkmate you with? A lone queen? What? He doesn't have enough pieces active to checkmate you. So you could probably get away with this too. But simple solution is queen e7. If you don't want to have to deal with that, queen e7. What's he doing? I mean, I guess, okay, you eventually have to play king f8. But again, he doesn't have enough pieces. He develops a piece, and you go queen d7. So he takes, knight b takes, and you're fully developed. White is not. You're slightly better forever. A much more comfortable position with black. Okay, so I'm not that afraid of queen e6. However, if you are afraid of queen d6, that makes sense. I don't like queen f6 anyway. The reason I don't like queen f6 is because you are taking the place your knight wants to go. Your knight wants f6. If you want to play that sort of move, queen e7 or better yet queen d7. Because another problem with queen f6 is you let him have queen c8 at some point, which allows him to take the pawn afterwards. Not good. Queen d7. If you don't want to play knight f6 and have to deal with king f8 nonsense, just queen d7. Because your knight wants to go to f6. This is your knight square. Do you mean the Nimzovich Larsen? Yeah, I think you might mean the Nimzovich Larsen. Oh, no, that's a weird one, though. Nimzovich Larsen is weird. It's like a Grob sort of sideline. Nimzovich Larsen is a weird line. So yeah, queen d7 is better. Queen f6 I don't like at all. It's backwards. It's anti-positional. Yeah, now your knight's unhappy. Your knight's mad at you. You shouldn't make your pieces mad at you. Your goal at the opening phase of chess is to make your pieces happy. Your pieces are not happy. Auto-translation is funny? Yeah. It really doesn't do a good job with names. Or complicated names. You know, your pieces, your knights are very unhappy. You're being a very poor horse owner. Very irresponsible. Ooh. That hurts. A lot. Okay. I would have preferred rook takes g2. It just looks like a better version to me of the same thing. I mean, it's all bad, but like, this brings another piece into the game that wasn't in there before. This knight can come later. I like rook takes g2 first. Okay. Knight g4. Queen takes h7. Oh no. Nice. Bishop takes f2. Well, bishop takes f2 is a possibility even with rook takes g2. That's why I'm saying rook takes g2. It threatens the same thing, but keeps your knights working together and still prepares you for this knight jump later on. This is, in my opinion, this is a more precise way of going for the same idea. Again, the idea is still there. I'm still playing for bishop takes f2. It's just now I'm doing it with this rook in the game. And my knight's still working together. Which is why I like it more than knight g4. Because this rook is more of a weakness than a strength on g8. Either way, the plan's the same. And plus, after here, castles is not a good move because you're attacking the queen. I mean, I guess this comes to tempo on the queen. That's fair enough. Well, in that case, bishop takes f2 first. Why are we playing knight g4? I want to take his queen. Can I get away with this? Yeah, I would play bishop takes f2. I like that even better. Because here, let's say he plays something very, very bad, like queen h5. Nah, queen h5 isn't bad. Like, okay, bishop takes f2, king e2, what's your next move? What are you threatening? versus bishop takes f2, where first he has to see that he can't take it, and even if he does, now you can go rook takes g2, right? Still very bad for you, but it requires a little more brain power for white to prove wrong, I think. At least it looks better to me. Although I still would probably play rook g2 myself. But I at 1500 elo, they probably won't see that you can take. That you can't take. Or maybe they will. Nah, 1500 see. Either way, bishop takes f2. Either bishop takes f2 or rook takes g2, depending on how much respect you have for your opponent. Bishop f2 if you have no respect. Rook takes g2 if you have respect. Queen takes h7. And evidently, respect was not in order because he just hung a queen. Yeah, you're right, you're right. I mean, you say that, I could not think of a name, but he just hung a queen. So, checkmate, liberals. What do you mean 1500s aren't bad? What do you call this? Okay. Hold on a second. Now h3. And the bishop's loose. Oh, no, wait. He doesn't have time. You're good. Yeah, never mind. Ooh. No. See, look, rook h8's a nice move here. You pin the pawn to the rook. Okay, 2100 hang queens too. I do too. I couldn't think of a name. But I don't talk about it. I pretend I don't. So I can have a superiority complex over the 1500s. Right? It's very simple. It's all part of the grand plan. But also pinning the pawn to the rook is nice. Either way, this is good. I approve of this message. I like it. You're letting your opponent's pieces be play. I've been around the block once or twice. No, you're letting your opponent have too much fun. You have to be the fun police. I would play rook g7 here. No fun on my watch. This is a fun-free zone. Stop. Don't come in here. This is my no-no sphere. You're not getting in here. Stay out. No. Plus, this allows you to like double up rooks at some point. So now rook h7. He wins a rook, and now you have to think. Tyler one's still playing the cow? I mean, he's trying to win, right? So I would assume yes. Rook e8. This is tragic. This is so sad. 2200 for your coaching skills are over 9,000. I'm trying, man. I'm trying. I have told you. I bully kids at my chess club. I'm the coach. Or I'm trying to learn to be a coach. I am the coach, but don't feel I'm very good at it yet. Especially now, recently we had an influx of a bunch of younger players. He is. Skill issue. Anyway, we've had an influx of younger players. We got like 5-7-year-olds now. It's super cool. Oh, drawsies. Nice. Well, you know, a perfect chess game will always end up in a draw, right? Okay, yeah. So, opening, I liked. Your queen should not be taking up your queen should not be taking up your knight square. Queen d7, don't let him come to c8. Play this knight here, this knight here. Castle, you're better. Okay. Yeah, the sack on h7 was a stroke of genius. Even here, bring your pieces out. This is not worth it. Poison pawn, just play knight d7. Get your king the heck out of dodge. Castle, fix your position. Play some queen move like this and play knight f6. You need to get your pieces out. Or even knight h6. I would forgive knight h6 and knight f5. That's an interesting idea. I would like it. I could get behind it. I wouldn't play it, but like, I could see it. I mean, it's bad here because of queen c8. That's why I'm saying you play this first, and then he plays some move. I have no idea what move he plays. Say this. It's a bad move. Like, okay, you can cook. I'll let you cook here. This is interesting. He could take the knight, but not. I mean, so you have the bishop pair. Either way, your pieces need to do something. And once your pieces started working, the position started working. Now, your opponent did blunder his queen, but that's not the point. And then you let your opponent have too much fun. No fun. No fun allowed. Like, in this position, you probably should have let him take the pawn just so you could hold on to h7, but you didn't. Whatever, it's fine. Now you play rook g7. No fun allowed. Fun-free zone. Or you play check first, and then you play rook g7, or rook to e7 or something. That's not the point. Or check, and then you take. Whatever. My point is, no fun. You only want to have fun when you're losing. Or, no, you want your opponent to have fun when you're losing. Because then they might mess something up. But no, when you're winning, you want no fun. Fun-free zone. And this endgame made my heart bleed. But I appreciate the tenacity, and it paid off. You went from losing position to a drawing position. Because you held on. Literally this, and then this, and he's winning. Or not this, right? This, and then this. Dead losing to dead winning to dead losing to drawing. Yep, emotional roller coaster. Interesting game of chess, though. Okay. It's midnight. I try to end streams at 11. I'm only an hour late. We're fine. Time improved really fast. If you practice, man. If you practice and you try to improve, you can do it. Plus, for all the memes about his League of Legends skills, he actually does know how to play, how to think about a game at a competitive level. How's it going? Pretty well. I'm tired and I'm sick, but life's good otherwise. Okay, wait. Do I have any friends online? I have a few friends online. Hold on a second. We have friends. Do we have friends? Do we have friends? We have some friends. That's friend. I mean, Thinker Teacher's streaming, which I always like rating Thinker Teacher. Is that here? But otherwise, yeah. Also had exams. I think I passed all of them but one. And that one I'll deal with. It'll be fine. Taking accounting in your second language is not a fun experience. And you're not native second language. Like, you're not like the most fluent. Like, you forget the word for square on a daily basis. That's my cope, at least. The truth is I should have studied more. But we're not going to talk about that. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. I will be live again on Wednesday, which is technically tomorrow because it's midnight here. But it's actually day after for anyone in the same time zone. Assuming all is well. Which it should be, but you never know. Yeah, sorry I'm leaving as soon as you got here, Miles, but it's midnight. Night. Opportunity. Ching. To increase your personal wealth. Ching.